Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final stream of the Custom Song Central tournament season. I am Demand2413, joined by Bradmasta, and today we will crown an Elite League champion for 2025. Brad, there have been 162 total participants in this tournament season, and we are down to the final four. This should be a good one.
Oh, absolutely. It's something that I know we all on staff have been looking forward to. I know the players have been looking forward to. Imagine the audience has been looking forward to get to this moment. It has been an absolutely crazy ride to get to where we're at. But the final four players that remain absolutely deserve to be here. And I'm suspecting that these final matches are going to be absolute barn burners.
We are all very excited to have you here joining us today. We've got 3, maybe 4 matches to show you. We'll go through the bracket right now to give you kind of the landscape of where this stream will go. We will start in the losers semifinals. This is a double elimination tournament. So these players are all now on their last life, if you will. They are one and done. First match will be SanicStudios versus Skulljoke. Skulljoke, the 5 seed, SanicStudios, the 8 seed. Following that, the winner will face off against remiix, the 3 seed, who will play in the losers finals. The winner of that match will then face off with RealSavageJef, who has lived up to the name this season, and they will face him in the finals. If there is a loss by Jeff in that finals, we will then have a second match between those 2 finalists to ultimately decide the winner of the tournament. We saw that once before in the open tournament this season. Will we see it again? That remains to be seen.
Yep, I suppose we will see. An important thing, Demand, that we have with this first match is there is money on the line. The winner that moves on to play remiix will be guaranteed at least the 3rd place prize. Demand, if you'd like to remind of myself and everybody what the prizes are, that would be
absolutely
fantastic.
Yes, those players will be competing for the grand prize of 300 pounds, which will be going to first place, second place receiving 150 pounds, third place 50 pounds. So at the very least, that 3rd place prize on the line for these 2 players in this first matchup, which we will be getting into right now as we speak. We'll be getting picks and bans, and we've got them in now. Brad, if you'd like to share those.
Yeah, we actually do not get a deferral, which we haven't seen too many of those, interestingly. But Skulljoke is going to ban Sacraments, and Sanic is banning Allegro. Honestly, not too surprising to see either of those bans. And we are just waiting now for our first pick to come in.
Now, I will say, a little bit surprising from Sanic, we had only seen 2 bans from Sanic. One of those, both of those were Spicy Fried Sick. So it does seem like a bit more of a pointed ban here by Sanic. Interesting thought into that. Actually, might ask Sanic that whenever we get to speak to Sanic. The first pick is in, and it is in quick. We will get things started with a Lil K Kona solo medley at 130% speed.
Oh yeah, this one, if you haven't seen it, it is very interesting, very countrified, if you will. But there's a lot. What's interesting about a lot of these more country songs is the chord tech and fretting. There's an interesting combination that you see all throughout, which is extraordinarily tricky. So you need a lot of consistency to perform well here.
For these 2 players, it has all come down to this. It is a best of 9 between these 2 players. First to 5 will take the win. It is Skulljoke. It is SanicStudios. Skulljoke from the USA. Sanic representing the UK. Let's go. Let's play some Clone Hero.
Indeed, indeed. I am very excited to see how this first song is going to end up coming forth with who the winner is going to be, because that can set the precedent for how the match could proceed from here.
For those who haven't been watching the Elite League this season, the songs might look a little crazier than what you're used to seeing in some of our CSC tournaments. That is because this is the wildest, most difficult set list we have ever put together for a tournament. And these players are the ones who have struggled the least, making it this far.
Yep.
As we enter this first solo.
Yep, so far both players showing that consistency, not just with all matches leading up to here, but so far in the song. Neither having dropped, both getting SP. I suspect the paths will probably be very similar, if not the same. Waiting for that first act that we get a first miss there.
Now we do get the first miss, and actually there was already a score discrepancy in Skulljoke's favor. We might also refer to Skulljoke as Astrid. But it is currently Sanic, still locked in, doing very well to open things up. And man, a song steal in song number 1 would be massive from Sanic.
Yeah, it really is telling that even with that one miss in there, both of them are still playing extremely consistently here. It does tell to me, at least, that we're not seeing a lot of nerves, at least at play, at this point in the match.
Yeah, one single blemish is all that there has been in this first, I'd say about third of the song here. Both players going to be well practiced, and as you alluded to, the activations will be on point from all of these players that we will see today. There is no doubt about it.
What I'm curious to see, man, is what sort of backup paths are we going to see at play here? Because as you know, almost nobody manages to get every activation throughout all of the songs. It's interesting that we do get a miss there, but it doesn't seem to have been too detrimental. SP's going to still favor Sanic, so Sanic could get the lead potentially back to their favor, maybe?
Oh my goodness, and we are in a Samba now. It is incredibly close between the two players. That miss was under star power, so maybe a little more costly for Sanic, even with a little extra star power. But now things are starting to giddy up a little bit as we reach the halfway mark of this solo. And it is Skulljoke with the very slight lead. Until then, it looks like Sanic might have squeezed out a little bit more, and we may have had the score flip now. It looks to be Sanic currently in the lead.
Yeehaw, partner, you are absolutely correct. We are going a rodeo show here right now. We are square dancing back and forth. We do get a miss there, but man, this is just absolutely as impressive as a June bug on a summer morning.
To see how long you can keep that going, but it is about a 10,000 point lead now for Sanic on Skulljoke's opening pick. Very strong start for the 8 seed, who barely even qualified for these playoffs, being the lowest seeded player to qualify. Missed there from Sanic. Under the star power, oh man, it's still so close. It is going to flip back to Sanic once again. So still, it is Sanic in the lead after all those misses. We're coming up on the end. Is that a dropped phrase? Yes, it is. Massive drop from Skulljoke's side. Sanic now in the driver's seat. Lead on star power by 2 phrases. Full bar, though, now for Sanic. Almost full bar for Skulljoke. Massive, massive activation here. You cannot miss under star power anymore.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Right now, Skulljoke is in a position of needing to come back from behind. Sanic getting an overlap there, which is going to further their lead, but we don't have a true lead just yet. Skulljoke needs to just stay focused and hope that Sanic will make some sort of crucial mistake here at the end of the song.
Both players nailing some insanely tricky sections here in clutch time, which is very important. Here is that ever-important activation. Huge section, unbelievable hit by Sanic. And Sanic remaining strong, remaining in the lead. And after that activation, it is a massive lead for Sanic. It will be a song steal from the 8 seed to open up the final stream of the season 1-0 in favor of Sanic.
This is just absolutely incredible. If you look at the margins that we're working with here, look, a -10 on Skulljoke's side, which would beat just about anybody just from that miscount alone. But then you look over at Sanic, who likely got maybe an extra SP phrase, but at least had the better activations. They missed a little fewer, less notes. So streaks are very similar. And ultimately, that miscount was probably the difference there.
Unbelievable stuff there. That is not Skulljoke's PB on this song in match was 1,006,000, which would have beaten Sanic's score, but instead it is Sanic who was able to have their best performance of the entire season on that song. That was really impressive. And now the pressure on Skulljoke early. You've got to imagine that that is the type of instance that is going to throw your plans going into this match into a little bit of a frenzy now.
Yeah, I suspect that I'm suspecting we're gonna see starter step somewhere in here. Not yet, but I suspect we'll see it soon. We're going Ghost.
We are in fact going Ghost. Skulljoke has performed very well on this PB of 785,000 versus Sanic's 760, but it looks like Sanic's been doing some homework because that last song was another song Skulljoke on paper had a big advantage, but it was Sanic who came out swinging and has that 1-0 lead. Big second song here for Skulljoke early.
Yeah, it's interesting to see here because I think the song
Ghost, by the way, sorry. I don't know if we mentioned that.
The song is as far as skill sets go, I really don't know which player to favor. They were both incredibly proficient at this sort of skill set. So Just have to wait and see what happens.
It is a strum pick, Ghost. So obviously going to be very strum leaning. You see a lot of fret movement, and syncing up the strum hand with the fretting hand becomes ultra important in a lot of charts in this tournament, but especially this one. You will see some massive strumming speed as well utilized in this one. Activations, as always, will be crucial, especially with chords like this. And here we go.
Yeah, something I'd be interested to see after the match is concluded is if either player had remote highways enabled, so being able to see what's happening on the other side, because that could play a factor in what's happening. For example, Skulljoke having already lost the song, seeing that on their next pick, Sanic is still keeping toe-to-toe with them, I imagine that play a bit rough on the nerves.
Unbelievably impressive start for both of these players. First couple drops there are going to come from Sanic, while Astrid remains locked in. But what a start so far. It's a small lead, but it is a lead nonetheless. About 6,000 points. Really difficult section, these quads that alternate between all strums and hammer-ons.
Oh my goodness.
And both players remaining so strong. Astrid almost made it through the entire thing, and after all of that, all the misses are done. There is the activation. Out of this activation, if no misses happen, it is going to be Skulljoke with that small lead of about 4,000 or 5,000 points, but a little bit better activation with the star power whammying from Sanic. So it looks like Sanic now in the lead by a little less than 1,000 points.
It's absolutely incredible, absolutely incredible. Both hitting that SP that's potentially crucial going into this next part of the song. Looks like Whammy was about even that particular time for both, but yeah, incredible performance so far. Lead slightly in favor of Sanic.
As we come up on the next drop, both players have been rock solid so far throughout the beginning of this chart. Unbelievably impressive stuff from both of these players so far. These songs are a lot more difficult than they're making it look. Insane section hit there. Another drop there, though, from Sanic.
Yeah, we're at the point, Demand, where one miss can not just change the lead, but it could end up costing you the match. So both players need to be extraordinarily careful, keep it reined in and focused as they get to the latter half here of the song.
Another massive activation here with these 3-note chords. There's a lot of start and stop. And the precision there for both of these players who have proven it all season long, and they continue here in this match. And man, there is no warm-up period necessary for these two, Brad.
Yeah, man, this is absolutely insane. Sanic still having the slightly better activations, but really, we're looking at one miss territory.
And these alternating tap trills in the middle of those chords, both players nail it once again, making these insane sections look like child's play right now.
This is absolutely unreal. I mean, look at the note streak that Skulljoke has right now. And look at this section. Oh my god.
Both players bringing the best out of one another here. Exactly what you want to see. On the final stream, another big, oh my goodness, they're missing back and forth. The Tom and Jerry misses. Big activation. I know I keep saying it, but that's because there is so much on the line for any single miss at this point. It is Skulljoke with the slight lead going into the ending here. We have seen a player miss here before. This is not over yet until it is over. But oh my goodness, Sanic has the activation. Skulljoke does not. And that's going to do it.
I can't believe that. I can't believe it came down to that. Skulljoke had the song. All they had to do was get the SP. But no, they did not win me enough. Sanic did. Sanic will take it just from that final activation. Incredible stuff.
Unbelievable stuff. The higher note streak, almost doubling Sanic's note streak, was Skulljoke. But it comes down to that last activation. Some excellent whammying there from Sanic to ensure that very important star power phrase. And unbelievably, we have a 2-0 match in favor of the 8 seed. It is best of 9 once again, so it is to 5. But a lot of pressure now going into song number 3.
I know we're so early in the match, or we're so early in the stream, but this is one of the best performances we've seen from the lowest seeded player in any part of any tournament that we've ran. An 8 seed going in to be able to put up this sort of performance to potentially get themselves in to the lower round final. I mean, if you're in Skulljoke's position, you've got to ramp it up just a little bit more. It's clearly super, super close between the two, but Sanic has edged out those two song wins, and now Skulljoke is backed up into a corner just a little bit.
An important note here, unlike last match, that was Skulljoke's PB in match on Ghost, but Sanic once again proving that what happened last match does not mean it'll happen again. A huge PB gives it to Sanic, who is now up and in the driver's seat, has yet to pick a song as we enter song number 3 of this match, and it will be Fallen Symphony Abridged, the hybrid boss.
Now, this one heavily, just from what we've seen in match results, heavily favors Skulljoke. There's a discrepancy of about 130k, approximately 170k, somewhere in there. It's fairly significant. Unless Sanic has put in the homework, which we've already seen Sanic having done. Right now, it does favor Skulljoke, but we'll just see how it plays out. We'll just have to see.
To give all the fans at home a reminder to take a second and breathe. These songs are coming ultra quick, as are the notes, but we got a long day ahead of us, so let's go one song at a time here.
Let me tell you, Demand, the hype is already, we're at an 11 already. We're 2 songs in. It's absolutely incredible. And this song right here, for those at home who have not seen this is arguably the hardest song that we have ever put into a set list. Beyond insane for players to perform super well. And given how difficult it is, players are picking it in nearly every match. It's quite incredible.
This song tests ultra precision in every single type of play style when it comes to Clone Hero. So it is certainly a who's who of sections when it comes to this song. Both players unbelievably prepared, it looks like. They have come out swinging every single time. First couple drops from Sanic there. This will not be a song that we are on FC watch. I will go ahead and make that bold claim now. Huge activation early here, though. This start from Skulljoke is going to put them in great standing, but huge tap section from Sanic basically negates it, and we are even after the first set of activations.
The story of the match, as we've seen for the previous 2 songs, is it is neck and neck. Still, even after that crazy activation, the comeback there from Sanic to even it back up, we've seen a few more misses there from Sanic, but still keeping it within striking distance.
When it comes to chording and very tricky fretting in between those chords, it is virtually even between these 2 players so far. I would give the tapping edge slightly to Sanic as of now, as both players rip this section as well. Really tricky. Not able to get that star power with Sanic. I think Skulljoke did, though. So Skulljoke now sitting on a star power with the lead. Big section there, not able to combo through, but still big on those chords. Those are chord zigs. So it's not just single note zigs. They're very, very tricky. Skulljoke doing incredibly impressively on those.
I will say that activation that Skulljoke had did not play in their favor as much as I'm sure they would have hoped, because the score discrepancy stayed about the same with Sanic not having activation at that point.
Some descending triplet here, and then some moving zigs to a quad zig. Sanic making out with the ×4 and a miss there, but overall staying in the fight. But it is Skulljoke who has opened it up, and finally all of this excellent play from Skulljoke's side yields a lead.
This is, I believe, the largest lead that Skulljoke has had so far in this match. And for the first time, I would say that Skulljoke finally has some breathing room to kind of relax a little bit, just kind of make sure they don't make too many misses. Sanic has a lot of ground to make up at this point.
Activations from both there on one of these slower sections of the song. So both players getting a moment to breathe. There is a lot of song left. There are a lot of notes left. This is far from over.
Oh yeah, you're right, man. We've seen the tides change even in the last few sections of the song. So anything still goes. But as we're seeing right now, Skulljoke is still holding strong. The higher note streak, higher score. Miss there from Sanic. SB is about the same, but advantage Skulljoke at this point in time.
Approach that halfway mark now. Big drop here. Unbelievable start on this one for Skulljoke. Isn't able to hit it the second time, but very close. Sanic doing their best to keep up, but Skulljoke ripping this section right now.
Yeah,
Wow.
again, we're seeing another section where Skulljoke just comes out the better performer, and now that we have a true lead where the SP is the same between the two players, further and further into Skulljoke's favor.
It is now about, I want to say, a 75k lead for Skulljoke, who down 0-2 needs a win in the worst way, and so far so good for the 5 seed.
Yeah, this win, if assuming Skulljoke can hold on to it, would be absolutely crucial. When you're down 3-0, it definitely starts to play, a little bit mentally, thinking that can you climb back in and win the match? But when you're only down 2-1 or 1-2 rather, then you're like, okay, I'm still in this match, can still make a game of it.
Another incredibly notes-dense activation here. Big 3-note chords. This is time for a comeback, if any. And Sanic does bite into that lead pretty well, but some more drops there, and we will see if the consistency continues for Skulljoke, who continues to inch that lead more and more once again after that drop in the 3-note chord section, which was Sanic's biggest entryway back into a comeback.
Yeah, this is really the point in the song where if you have a lead and you're also able to outperform your opponent here, you're pretty much in the driver's seat, because Sanic's already had a few drops, did get the SP there, but it's not going to matter too much if Skulljoke just is not performing worse than you.
There's a big activation actually coming up that Skulljoke will get to activate. It's the same section as what we've just seen a couple times, but now with chords involved. And the consistency, the precision, absolutely excellent from Skulljoke right now, leading to almost a 100,000 point lead now.
Yeah, we'll see an activation here, coming from Sanic, but I don't think at this point, man, it's going to matter too much. I don't think there's enough on the table unless Skulljoke literally stops playing.
And in this incredibly challenging song, a lot of pressure on Skulljoke, able to continue to perform at a high level on a song that is chock full of incredibly tricky missable sections, missable star power phrases. And Sanic staying as close as possible, but wow.
Wow, that is only the third time we've seen this season somebody crack 1.3. Absolutely monstrous performance. And I will say that Sanic did absolutely destroy their PB, and in fact, that score actually would have come up 2,000 points short of what Skulljoke had put up previously. So not quite enough there from Sanic on this one, but still commendable performance. But at the end of the song, it is Skulljoke that comes through to win it. We are looking at 2-1 favor Sanic at the moment.
Every single song we have seen a PB from Sanic in match, and this is a PB by Skulljoke. In fact, I think the only non-PB by Skulljoke was the first song of the match. Everything else, both players showing that they are saving their best for last.
Yeah, if you're going to start PB in match, this is the time to do it. This is where it's win or go home scenario. Both of these players, I'm sure, want to try to make grand finals as much as possible, so they need to put forth their absolute best. And demand, I believe we are seeing it from both players.
You are seeing the absolute best that both of these players have to offer here. They're not willing to back down. They've made it this far. Why not keep pushing and just see what you can do? The next pick is in. Finally, Sanic's first pick of the match.
This one's a bit of a wild card, as we have not seen any results here from Sanic. They must feel confident on it for them to
is
go
Awakening.
for it.
Sorry, I just wanted to make sure we mentioned that it was Awakening. The hybrid, I believe this is the strum-leaning hybrid. So this is an understandable pick. Sanic, a very strong strummer, as we saw on Ghost. I mean, both of these players incredibly strong. But this was Sanic's first pick, so we will see how much comfortability there is. It is Sanic who has no scores on this song right now, as a matter of fact. So this is Sanic's first playthrough. A very valuable piece of information to withhold is your in-match PB on a song, so So that could play into Sanic's favor. We will see just how strong they are.
Given that this is a pick coming from Sanic specifically, I imagine, excuse me, I imagine that they've put in a ton of work behind the scenes to try to wait for the opportune time to pick it and match, and I believe this is that moment.
Bit of a slower start here compared to what we were just watching, but believe me, there will be plenty of tests coming up here.
Something I'd like to mention is both of these players are extraordinarily proficient at console-esque stuff, and you get a lot of that with this song, so this really does play favorably to both players' skill sets.
And the incredibly fast drumming, the first blink is from Sanic, while Skulljoke able to maintain. Very, very impressive opening. The resets on this song are really, really difficult. Brad, if you could just kind of talk about that.
Yeah, so there's a concept called reset strumming where you would say it's a set of 5, you would strum 5, and then if you're starting on a down, you'd end on a down, then you would reset. So you'd start again on a down. For songs like this, some players may opt to reset, some players may not reset, meaning that if they end on a down, they will start the next set on and up. Given this speed, it's kind of dealer's choice. I know, I've seen many players who would opt to reset here, given some of the weird chord changes, but perhaps we may need to ask them what they opted for.
So in those resets necessary in the breaks between those fast strumming sections, and it is going to be Skulljoke who will need to mentally reset after that miss swings it back over to Sanic after a very strong start.
Yeah, this right now is kind of what Sanic needs to see. While SP is the same, the lead. That is what Sanic needs to maintain and hold on to. Just needs to maintain that consistency and keep it going through until the end of the song.
Both of these players showing why they have a very storied history in CSC tournaments and tournaments elsewhere as well. I mean, both are invitational participants, Elite League participants. In fact, in the very first Elite League, it was Skulljoke finishing 5th. So certainly no stranger to the pressures of high-level Elite League play in the playoffs. And, I mean, certainly both players showing that the moment not too big for them, performing their best on the biggest stage.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to take a moment to say that that section in the chorus with those really awkward chord changes, both have held pretty strong throughout the entirety of the song on that. That's something we've seen typically in matches where players will miss, but they're holding strong.
And it is since that score flip. We have not seen a miss until right there. The first miss in over 900 notes for anybody. And it is Sanic who maintains an incredible note streak here, coming up on a very, very tricky part of this solo. That's why the activation is here. Most note-dense part of the solo coming up at the end. Some very fast, moving, descending triplets. Let's see who gets it. First drop there from Skulljoke. It is Sanic who continues this torrid stretch through Awakening and has a now 20,000 plus point lead.
I mean, look at this note streak. Absolutely incredible. We are approaching 2K. Sanic's consistency on this song in particular has just been impeccable. And it is clear that they, again, alluding to what I said earlier, waited for the opportune time to pick this song. And this is it. This is it right here.
Both players now one last moment to kind of settle down, and here we go. Gotta make sure you are locked all the way in, because the last thing you want to do if you're SanicStudios is have a one miss compound and go into a couple other. There's a dropped phrase that Skulljoke is able to pick up, so this is not over yet, Brad.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. And what I alluded to earlier about those chords being on point, Sanic was on point up until then, and unfortunately for them, it happened to be under an SP phrase. I don't know if this activation that we're probably going to see here will be enough. It's tough to tell, but I think Sanic is in a fairly comfortable position.
Well, let's see, after the activation, it's going to be close. Oh my goodness, but it's not enough to get the lead, as it is Sanic with about a 4,000 point lead, which might actually be a single miss's worth.
Not quite. If it is a chord involved, yes. Just not enough. Not enough.
It is
Sanic
not enough. Sanic now up 3-1.
Wow. And I just
-2.
Yeah, -2. The note streak is just absolutely incredible. The ghost count is very low. Did miss just that one phrase,
The
but
phrase.
even that one phrase just was not enough for Skulljoke to climb back in when Sanic just played that incredible on this. We're looking at a 3-1 match. The man, where does Skulljoke go? What path does Skulljoke have to climb back into this?
It is a tricky question because the thing is, you might think that as we get further and further into the match, players get a little bit further away from their most comfortable picks. So, in theory, there might be a little bit less comfortability in these later song picks. We will see how it plays out. But that being said, it is Skulljoke with the burden of picking once again. And at a certain point, Skulljoke is going to run out of songs that they've got a feeling of a leg up on Sanic. So it is, I mean, maybe you go as solo heavy as possible, having had the success you had on Fallen Symphony. I don't know.
It really, yeah, as you said, it is a very tough call, and it's possible that there are definitely songs on the table here that I believe that a Skulljoke could just come back and even up.
Got our pick. Sorry to interrupt. I just want to get into it. It's Stutter Step. We've got the Strum Boss, so it is Skulljoke going back to the boss song well on this one.
Yeah, I was going to eventually get to the point that this is probably Skulljoke's best pick right here to get back in to make the match at least still close. That Skulljoke could climb back, but Skulljoke's in the position that they have to win at least a Sanic pick at some point in the match to even it up.
Shout out Collaggio, the creator and artist behind this song and chart. An incredibly challenging, I mean, this is a masterclass in strum speed and control the whole way through, as it is early misses by both. That might have been a late overstrum by Sanic. Not sure what happened there. But
that
after all, yeah. Go ahead.
I was just saying that's an interesting miss. You don't typically see an overstrum about 2 seconds into a break.
Yeah. But the pressure is so on right now for Sanic, who finds himself with a 3-1 lead and a chance to make the lower bracket finals. Skulljoke trying to fight back into this one, and man, this is going to be a song with a lot of misses as well, so it's going to be about who can string together those big-time phrase hits, which Sanic gets right there, and Skulljoke now finds a nice rhythm as well. But it is Sanic, who's proven to be a little more consistent so far. Oh my god, unbelievable by Sanic.
They're making this look so much easier than this truly is. And I gotta say, I'm a little surprised. I knew Sanic was gonna be solid at this, but this is actually almost unheard of. To see this in tournament at this point, this is beyond unreal, genuinely.
And believe it or not, even with how hard this song looks, it is even harder to play. Now it is Skulljoke holding on to this activation here as Sanic goes there. So we will have some discrepancy here, and there are a lot of chords in this song, Brad. So this large lead of about 70, 65K is not quite as large as it seems if there can be a big activation here from Skulljoke coming up.
You're absolutely correct. If Sanic does start missing some SP phrases and Skulljoke is able to get that combo going in pivotal moments, we've seen this song swing very quickly just because there are chords in it. Misses are double when you talk about, single note versus double note. So yeah, if Sanic happens to make some crucial mistakes, Skulljoke could still climb back in this, but the margin is thinning.
And after all of that, as I mentioned, it's now a much closer match. Now that miss will not help, but it is about now 50K rather than the 70K, so that's a 20,000 point difference. But man, 50K in favor of Sanic right now. That lead is incredibly impressive.
Yeah, I did not quite expect that we would see this result. I almost would have expected it to be the other way, but Sanic clearly has put in the work, and right now we're looking at the danger of seeing a 4-1 in favor of Sanic. Skulljoke really has got to be thinking, for their last pick, no matter the results. If they lose this song, where do they go to try to climb back in?
Oh my goodness, and another incredibly impressive set of hits by Sanic there. Under star power makes it even more valuable. And unfortunately for Astrid, who just fought back as much as they can, Sanic just on another level right now in terms of the comboing through that. unbelievably impressive. This is a in-match PB by over 85,000 points by SanicStudios.
Yeah, to clarify, when Demand says end match PB, we're not just talking Sanic's personal PB. This is the best anybody has performed on this song, period. And it's not even close. No one has performed that well.
A -12 from your 8 seed makes it 4-1 in favor of Sanic, who now finds himself 1 win away from a matchup with remiix in the losers finals.
It's just an incredible performance that we're seeing here. Again, both players are playing phenomenal. These sort of scores would beat out just about anybody in the competitive scene, regardless of who you throw in there. But Sanic right now is just having the edge on nearly every song that's being played. Skulljoke is truly backed into a corner, but as alluded in chat, it is not over until somebody hits 5 song wins. So let's see what Skulljoke can cook up for their final pick, regardless of what happens, and see if maybe they can steal some wins to force tiebreaker.
We have seen 3 song picks out of 4 from Skulljoke be stolen from Sanic. Unbelievably impressive, especially on a set list where these songs cover so many different bases. It just seems like there is a large overlap between two players, and Sanic has come ready to play. Worth mentioning, Skulljoke within 5,000 points of their in-match PB on this, so certainly played to the best of her abilities there, at least compared to last matches. But man, Sanic has, I mean, for reference, Sanic's last score on this was 511,000. He had a 180,000 point improvement. That is unbelievable.
You just don't see that really in match unless, again, you're seeing like a Fallen Symphony where maybe they played it round 1 and didn't touch it again until now. But to see that on a song like Stutter Step, that just doesn't happen. That is just unreal work. And now we look back here, we're at the song selection screen. Not entirely sure which way Skulljoke's going to go, but this is a very critical pick. This is their last one. Again, when I say last one, from this point on in the match, either Skulljoke loses the song and the match ends, or Skulljoke wins the song, but then Sanic will pick for the remainder until either Sanic wins or tiebreaker is reached. So this is absolutely crucial for Skulljoke. They need to pick their best remaining song on the table, no matter what happens here.
Her back is against the wall. There are no more song picks after this one in this match, as you mentioned. So you've just got to throw something at the wall and hope it sticks. Skulljoke down 1-4. Sanic now on match point.
And while we wait for the last song to be picked here, I just want to get a quick shout out to Nuke. Nukesa, who FC Devil went down to Georgia recently and almost co-op FC'd it. I believe yesterday, maybe the day before. So congratulations to them. And we are going to Heatwave 135.
Okay, so we are going solo pick. It is Heatwave 135. And you can, I mean, this might be a solid pick because you did see Sanic with the Allegro Maestoso ban, a solo pick in that own right. So another solo pick here. This could be the in that Skulljoke is looking for to get back into this one.
Yeah, Demand, you're absolutely correct. If you look at the stats that we have here, this does favor Skulljoke. But again, Sanic has clearly been putting work in the background. So who knows what we're going to see from Sanic here.
No idea. Actually, getting out of that first little set of buried strums, I'm referring to strum notes buried amongst a sea of hopos. Both players getting out of that clean, but then this first solo is going to cause some obvious challenges. It is incredibly difficult, and it is Skulljoke, who out of this first solo section, -1 on that entire solo, now with the lead by about 4,000.
And something you have to consider, Demand, is that there's nerves present on both sides. You would think that, with Sanic being up 4-1, they're feeling pretty good, but there's pressure. You have to win a song somewhere. Sanic's got to be feeling that. And of course, on Skulljoke's side, Skulljoke has to win, period, moving forward. So a set of nerves that both players have to deal with on this song.
There's the idea that a hungry dog runs faster. The one that needs it the most will have their best foot forward. and it is Skulljoke who needs everything that she's got left to make this one still a potential tiebreaker. It is a long road, but so far so good to get things started on song number 6.
Yeah, let this be a lesson, chat. You are never out again until somebody matches what the win condition is. So Skulljoke, knowing that, is not giving up, giving her absolute all here. It's incredible to watch.
Yeah, both players have shown an incredible amount of resilience. In fact, in this Elite League, we have seen, oh my God, really quick, before I mention anything else, insane solos from both, only one note missed between the two of them. And that was on Sanic's side, so Astrid will gain a little bit more of a lead now. But I was going to mention both players have been in tiebreaker scenarios in this Elite League so far. In the group stage, it was Skulljoke losing to remiix, who was up next in a tiebreaker in that group stage. They were in the same group, so that could be a potential rematch. Meanwhile, it was Sanic actually losing a tiebreaker to Atomic, who did not qualify for playoffs. There was a death triangle, we've been calling it, between 3 players in that really difficult Group B. So Sanic, being the 8th seed, was the only player to qualify for playoffs with 2 match losses. Look at him now, 1 song away from losers finals and at least 3rd place in this playoff.
Yeah, this is just incredible to see. You know, the story that we're seeing from Sanic is definitely one that we've been following very closely. And the players that didn't make it to playoffs, I suspect we may see in playoffs next year, potentially. But we did get a miss there from Sanic, who missed an SB phrase, and Skulljoke, as known as Astrid, does get the activation off, and it's still on a ridiculous note streak.
I was about to mention, ever since we started blabbing, there have been no drops from Astrid, who has been on a mission this song, and clearly has found a very nice rhythm, and that lead has now ballooned to about 45K. Well, now about 43 after that miss. Is going to be about 40 after we get back to ×4s on both sides of your screen.
Yeah, it's at this point, even with those few misses that we've seen from Skulljoke, it doesn't seem like it's going to matter too much unless Skulljoke starts to really fall apart here in the latter half of the song. This last quarter, they just need to keep doing what they've been doing. And if so, we will see a 4-2 with Skulljoke still alive, still pushing to try to reach tiebreak.
We have seen some different activations this song, and I mean, clearly Skulljoke has a good plan in mind because they have been playing excellently on this chart, and it's just been a drop here, a drop there, a missed phrase or two from Sanic that has led to this massive lead.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. And a statistic I want to point out real quick, that Skulljoke is the only player this season that has also competed in EL Season 1 back in 2020. Very impressive.
That was a very nice tap note section that Sanic just ripped through under star power, as Sanic's tapping prowess continues to be a theme in this match, but it is Astrid Skulljoke who takes the win. -7 will lead us to a 7th song in this matchup.
Yeah, oh man, this is going to be really interesting to see, because now the pressure is on Sanic a little bit. Sanic now has all the remaining picks. They can dictate where we go for tiebreaker. They can, maybe they want to pick something that they're maybe not so sure of, just to either get it out of the way or maybe try to force tiebreak to go somewhere in their favor. It's really hard to tell. The mindset here, there's a little bit of mind games that you have to navigate through to ensure that you can win the match. Pull it in your favor just enough. Take it.
Now, it is funny, Brad. Oh, well, the pick is in, so I'm not even going to go on my little tangent here. Destroy, destroy, destroy. The happy end is the Sanic pick. A quick pick from Sanic. Clearly some confidence and a strong understanding of where they were going to go right away. This is still match point for Sanic. 4-2 now.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not too surprised to see this pick. It is interesting given that Fallen Symphony has a little bit of overlap in some of the skill sets required that Destroy Destroy also has. But Destroy Destroy is a little bit more... Well. Yeah, it's a little bit more gimmicky, which I think does play a little bit more in favor of Sanic. But again, I think this is really the smartest pick that Sanic could have made at this point in the match.
It is worth pointing out that of all the songs, I believe this is the one that Sanic's PB does eclipse Skulljoke's in terms of in-match. There is an early drop here from Sanic now, and I do believe it was on that sustain, which is why now did not fill up the star power bar. So we will see a little bit longer of a star power on Skulljoke's side. and that overlap as well. So Skulljoke now out to the early lead.
Yeah, this song, this skill set required right here is not easy. You have to lift completely off the fretboard and hammer back on with your hands on all 3 notes consistently to be able to hit it. And they're just making it look like easy work.
And Skulljoke is performing incredibly well. Different path. And you are seeing why huge miss actually from Sanic there, as well as from Skulljoke. Under activation misses there. So now it is Sanic who will take the lead with this activation. All those 3-note chords building that lead ever so slightly, but another miss there for Sanic makes it only a 14,000 point lead. But the drop there from Skulljoke, and you can tell there's some pressure on both of these players right now. A lot of just little drops here and there. And early, it is Sanic with now a 32,000 point lead. Still a difference in star power, and we've seen how dense those star powers can be in this one.
Yeah, what we saw was a story of Skulljoke not being able to fully take advantage of that first activation, and then a critical miss there, and great activation from Sanic to pull the lead, even more so in their favor.
A really difficult section here to maintain combo. Here is the activation from Skulljoke and from Sanic. Again, longer activation on the side of Skulljoke. And another miss is good. Oh, man, and that was a serious frustration miss from Skulljoke afterwards as well. There is a big section coming up later on. We will see the reload section that you kind of heard there. That sound leads to a very quick set of 3 2-note chords that you will see a lot. And if there can be some consistency on one end versus the other, that could swing the lead.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. We're about halfway through, but there's still a lot of consistency checks remaining in this song that Skulljoke could come back. But right now, Sanic is just on an unbelievable tear. 700 note streak compared to about 350. Unless Sanic just starts horribly missing, I'm not so sure Skulljoke will have enough.
And as the scattered misses continue for Skulljoke, it is Sanic who continues to impress with unbelievable skill, speed, and precision. 72,000 point lead coming into the last half of the song. And if you're on match point, which Sanic is, you've got to be feeling good going into this ending.
Yeah, there's a certain point when you're in a match, you're on potentially the last song, and if you've got a big enough lead, your confidence has got to be soaring because you're feeling it. You know that as long as you do what you know you can do, you've got it. And I think Sanic may be feeling that right now because all of these reload sections, they're just not missing. It's incredible.
Refusing to miss is SanicStudios right now, who has his eyes dead set on moving on to face Remix, and it is looking like it with a massive score here.
This is just, again, as I alluded to, I believe this was the smartest pick that Sanic could have gone with. We're seeing it on display right now. Incredible activation. Sanic is still just not letting up.
Some misses here on this chord section. There is a lot of ground to make. So it is not going to be even within 100,000, even with some drops there, because of how unbelievably Sanic has performed up until this point in the song.
I'm not sure. Somebody would have to look back through the archives, but I don't know if we've ever seen 100,000 point comeback on a song. I just don't know.
Oh, this late, no. And Brad, I think we are good to close this one up. It is going to be SanicStudios. Unbelievable performance, I can't say it enough. The 8th seed, moving on to the final 3 of the tournament. And that will do it. SanicStudios, 5-2 victory, will move on.
And you know, just an incredible performance from Astrid Skulljoke, who really showed why they belong in not just Elite League, but Elite League playoffs. But on this day, Sanic was just the better player, performed just unstoppable on so many of these songs. And we are going to get a rematch from Sanic and Remix from, I believe it was Open 3 winners. I think it was maybe round 3, potentially. Maybe round 2.
I do know that it is a rematch of Invitational 4 as well between Sanic and Remix. So they have faced off before in a couple of different scenarios, and they will face off once again with the finals on the line. What a performance. I mean, both players, unbelievable stuff. And man, I mean, you talk about clutch performances. This is unprecedented stuff for someone to PB this much and play this well compared to their previous song performances. I mean, how much preview homework can you do of your Skull Joke when Sanic is PBing by 60, 80, 100,000 points?
I mean, they're really just. I don't believe just from what we saw there was anything that Skulljoke could have done with the way that Sanic was just again and again performing super strong. But again, we have to give kudos to how well Skulljoke performed all the way through up to this point, and even in this match, still put up some incredible scores, low miscounts.
We will get to speak to Skull Joke here post match. And it was a great run for Skull Joke. Speak to her in mere moments as she kind of takes a breath after, I'm sure, an exhausting set of songs. And here she is, Skull Joke. It did not go maybe as you were hoping, but still an unbelievable run to make it this far into the playoffs. I mean, certainly, well, I'll just go to you. How did you feel you performed today in the match?
Thanks for saying that, Deman. I honestly felt like I didn't play to my expectations, which I know sounds insane when I got 1.3 mil on Fallen Symphony. But yeah, I don't know. I felt like the first couple of songs, it felt like it was taking a while for me to kind of like lock in, get in the zone, and really just play like I know I can. I didn't really feel like I was playing solidly really until that Fallen Symphony game, honestly.
Now, I may have asked this before, so I apologize. Are you playing with opponents' highways on?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so was it surprising at the level of performance Sanic was having compared to some of his previous song scores in those first couple song picks, knowing that you had a large advantage on paper on a lot of those charts going into this?
I mean, I think Sanic played out of his mind. Very, happy I could be a part of this match, and happy I get to see such excellent quality Clone Hero gameplay. So I was, and I know Sanic has it in him, despite his, previous scores on the song. I know he's a grinder. I know he has been practicing these songs just as much as I have. So I wasn't exactly surprised. It was more like, Keikona is a comfort pick. That's what I led off with. And to lose that, it was a little bit of like a, oh shit, like maybe this is not gonna go the way I want.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I mean, every single song for the first four songs was won by a player that got an in-match PB. So, I mean, and even you were getting in-match PBs as well, even not living up to your expectations, as you said, but still unbelievable. I really think an example of both of you bringing out the best of each other in such a high pressure situation. So certainly commendable by both of you. Brad, what do you have?
I think you pretty much covered the game, but I guess the only real question I had, Skulljoke, since you were able to see Sanic's performances during the match rather than seeing the results after, did anything mentally change with you as the match progressed? Was there a particular pathway that you still saw that you could reach tiebreak as you were making those picks? Like, what was going through your head as the match progressed?
After when the set was 4-1, I don't remember what song was played before then, but I knew I had to make a comeback on Heat Wave, which I was pretty confident I could win, and the hybrids from there, I thought I had a good chance at winning, but it wasn't guaranteed, of course. The pathway I saw to potentially winning from a 4-1 hole would have been uh, Sanic picks perfectly along with my Heatwave pick for us to go to solo tiebreaker, which I'm very strong at. I really didn't see any other way to pull that back.
That's completely fair. Yeah, when you're in a 4-1 scenario or any scenario where you've got one and the opponent's on match point, it does become difficult to find a pathway. But it's good to hear that even in that moment, you still saw a way that it could have happened. It's always good to still stay in that match. Feel it's a lesson for anybody watching here to never count yourself out. So it's incredible to see that mindset. And I got to say, Skull Joke, excuse me, having seen you play
That's what
as a
Brad had to
player,
say.
having watched you as a player for so many years, and we've known each other now for, oh goodness, probably 15 plus years at this point.
Oh
It's
yeah,
been
easily.
just an absolute pleasure to have watched you just grow and blossom as a player, and to see you back in Elite League and performing how well you have. I guess the last question I have here is, you have secured your spot for the next Elite League. Will we see you in the next one?
I don't want to commit right at the second, honestly. I mean, I love the game. I love competing. Uh, but I'm really looking forward to playing a lot of DJ Max in the near future, honestly.
Nice. Very cool. Well, wherever the future takes you, thank you so much for participating. And out of the 162 total tournament participants in this tournament season, you finished 4th overall. So congratulations on an unbelievably impressive performance. Um, yeah,
Thank
so
you.
this is unfortunately the end of the line, but we'll give you the floor one last time. Any final thoughts?
I just want to shout out my friends Penny in the chat cheering me on. My best friend Parker. I don't know if they're watching, but huge shout outs for all the support. Shout out to CSC staff and the refs and the players and just everyone who makes this stuff possible. We have a really great community here. I mean, the positivity is just overwhelming, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Performances were positively overwhelming as well for a lot of players. So it was a pleasure to watch that take place and to watch you compete, as I know plenty of us, including myself, always enjoy. So thank you very much for that, for your hard work, and for your commitment to playing as well as you could and showing everybody out there what is possible when you put your mind to it and work at it. So huge congrats on how far you made it, and can't wait to see you wherever you end up in the future. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks a lot.
Right. And that will do it. We are now down to 3, Brad.
It's the final 3 players that are here, as I alluded to at the start of the stream. They absolutely deserve to be in this position. I mean, if you look at their matches, so both Remiix and Sanic, of course, did suffer losses. And who did they suffer losses to? The person sitting there in grand finals awaiting the winner of this. But that's it. Outside of that, they have been fairly dominant in their play. You look at Remiix, 5-2 over Matrif, 5-0 over Jarvis, sitting here waiting for this next match. Then you go to Sanic. Sanic, 5-2 over Triss, 5-0. We get the default there because Jarvis unfortunately did drop out. But against Skulljoke, 5-2. So dominant performances from both players. And now we've got potentially an unmovable object against an unstoppable force, the winner of which will go up against Jeff in grand finals. I am just excited to see this one play out.
The winner of this match does secure at least 150 pounds in prize money. The loser will receive 50, but it is kind of a battle of, well, it might be fair to say that Sanic has a little more tournament experience in the long run. Remiix has kind of come onto the competitive scene a little more recently, but that is not to say that they are a slouch or are lacking in skill. Those who remember Invitational 4 last year, Remiix actually won that going through Sanic in that same Invitational, as well as MJ, Mjonti, a tiebreaker versus Matref, who we saw in this Elite League, and 5-1 victory against Josh, who unfortunately did have to drop from the group stage, but another very familiar name in these parts. If you're familiar with the tournaments, I'm sure you've heard a lot of those names, if not all of them. So there are a lot of lightsabers in his collection, if you will.
Yeah, I will get to another match that was played by these two in just a moment, but we do have our bans. There was no deferral by Remix. Remix is going to ban Kona, Sanic is going to ban Total Destroy, and we are waiting now for the song selection to start the match. So the match I was going to allude to, going back a little further, we have Open 3, I believe. It may have been round 2 winners, where Sanic and Remix played one another. It was 3-3 going to tiebreaker, and Demand, you may remember because you were the caster for that match. It was the Bunny tiebreaker, where I believe Sanic had an extremely strong lead going into the outro, but it was Remix who clutched it out, who was able to hold on those very difficult patterns there at the very, very end. So very storied between these two, and we'll see which one comes out on top this time.
And it is funny mentioning that match. Sanic had that match won in the song before the tiebreaker. It was the Radiohead song, and it was a misactivation by Sanic that led to it. But to turn the page and go to this match, the Kona ban, no surprise from Remix, has banned it before. The SanicStudios Total Destroy ban, no surprise with how unbelievable Remix has been at Total Destroy. The pick is in. It's Allegro Maestoso to start. I was going to say Remix's FC Total Destroy, so that's a very smart ban. But yes, Allegro Maestoso, which was Sanic's ban in the last match. So no surprise here with the opening song pick from Remix.
Yeah, going to the bands again real quick. Seeing Remix ban Kona, clearly Remix saw Sanic's performance on it, so no surprises here. And this pick, it could favor both of them. Both are incredibly strong fretters, so, and right now about even.
Yes, both players missing very similar amount of notes, and they will not be the last misses of the song, I would be willing to bet, as this song is lightning fast. The first activation is from Sanic, as Remix was in a nice little rhythm there until he dropped Phrase. So after all this and some big-time misses from Sanic, it is only going to be about a 6,000 point lead, but again, another small drop from Sanic as Remix just a little bit more consistent, able to hold that ×4 multiplier a little more consistently, so growing and growing that lead as we go.
At this speed, this song flies by. We're already about a third of the way through, and right now, Remix is just outperforming Sanic. Something we have to consider, too, at this point, is fatigue. Sanic just played a very impressive and very tight match there, winning 5-2, but, you know, that does wear on a player just ever so slightly. But on the other hand, Remix, having not played, may not be fully warmed up. It's clearly not showing at this point in time.
Absolutely not, as Remix has clearly found a nice rhythm here, and showing why this was the ban from Sanic. Certainly not his strongest performance if you look at all the other songs that he's played so far so magnificently at, whereas this one, maybe going into this match, this may have even been seen as a, okay, I might drop this one because I know that this is not my strongest skill set. But nonetheless, it is still 60,000 about and growing for Remix. And this is, again, as you mentioned, Brad, kind of the perfect opportunity for Remix to get warm here, at least on those fretting hand.
Yeah, this is definitely a smart pick by Remix, because we're clearly seeing it's playing very well to their skill set and is a great warm-up for the fretting hand. And Remix, being the strumming player that they are, doesn't really need too much of a warm-up. I imagine they've probably already warmed up with that. But yeah, it looks like the story here, I don't think there's enough to catch up. We're past the 100K mark, which again, I don't think we've seen a comeback from. I believe Remix will take this, and we will have a 1-0 match on our hands.
And a wonderfully played run by Remix to open things up. Same activation, so everyone knows the activations, but it is Remix taking this one. That is an in-match PB by 3,000. 1-0 for the 3 seed, -22.
Yeah, that was a incredible difference in percentage there. But, you know, Sanic perhaps maybe realized early on that they may not be winning this song. It's like, okay, that's fine. We'll reset. That was Remix's pick. No big deal. Now we're going to go into something that I'm fairly strong in. At least that would be my mindset as a player going into it. But we'll see how Sanic decides to approach it. Some players decide to hold on to the really strong picks until later in the match. Some like to go just bam, 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 bam with all their strong picks back to back to back to back. We'll just see how Sanic decides to go here. Though I do suspect they'll punch back a little bit with something that they're proficient in.
You do also wonder when you start thinking about tiebreaker scenarios. Is that something you consider early? The pick is in. It is Sacraments of Dissension solo medley. So we're actually going solo boss after a loss by over 100,000 on a solo pick. Now, it is a little bit different, so it's not exactly the same song. So clearly some comfortability from Sanic. This was a ban from Skulljoke. This is the first time we are seeing the solo boss.
Yeah, I gotta say, man, I'm a little surprised to see this. But as you said, it is a little bit different. There's more crust in here, not relying just purely on super fast sweeping stuff. But there's some absolute insanity in this chart. I mean, it's a mean pick. It really is. Shout out to the song selection committee for allowing this.
For allowing this. Absolutely. No, very, very tricky. And it is Sanic, who has opened up with a very strong start. Has not activated yet, while Remix has. So it is Remix with the lead as of now. Out of this activation with that miss there, it may still be Remix's lead after this. And with that dropped phrase by both, though. Oh, no. Sanic actually got that activation under. So it is Sanic now with the small lead. Man, yeah, this is a lightning fast chart with the amount of fretting and the speed necessary for it.
We got to consider, though, while there is a little bit of a lead here from Remix, extending a little bit there with the miss from Sanic, the solo percentage is favoring Remix at the moment. So Sanic's got to do, maybe some shenanigans here on some of these really fast tapping sections. They do take back the lead, but the solo percentage, it's about even now.
Almost getting that phrase was Sanic. Remix did drop a little earlier, but it will remain even on star powers for now.
Such a mean section to man, and both of them performing extremely proficient there.
I think we both had the same reaction of just, ugh. As Sanic now, after that activation, was able to get another phrase, so able to get that activation off, which is proving to be the more difficult thing, not just getting all the activations right, but just getting an activation at all.
Yeah, and I do want to say that after the...
Oh my goodness. God. Yeah, big section there from Remix. Under this activation, big tapping by Remix, unbelievable, and that's going to open up a nice...
Yeah, what I was going to allude to after just seeing the monstrosity that we did is I think the song selection committee did a really solid job with this pick, having differentials and solo skill, because we saw a big difference in Remix in the other song, but Sanic came to get much closer on this one.
Yes, and this is another one of those fast songs that go by quickly. It is Remix still with the lead as we are more than halfway. We're about 2/3 of the way through. Coming up in the end, missed there in a crustier section. A couple misses. Sanic will get that activation, so this is going to be close. And out of this is going to be Sanic with the lead. It is Remix with the slight percentage advantage, and actually might still be able to take that lead back off some misses. Another big crusty section coming up. Both players nail it. It is a drop there from Remix. Oh my goodness, this is going to be close. Will the start... Oh man, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we might actually see the song swing by solo percentage bonus alone.
Yep. Oh my goodness gracious. It is going to be so close. Unbelievably tricky tapping section. Sanic now still with the lead, but not in percentage. Will it be enough to flip it? If it has to be that, another miss from both. As we approach the end, it will be Sanic by 200 points! Unbelievable!
It doesn't get any better than that. It really doesn't, folks. We saw the solo percentage difference being there in favor of Remix. It just, oh my god. You're talking about, like, a 2-note difference here on, like, just 4x multiplier. That's just simply incredible. For it to come down right there at the end, literally last note, not knowing who's going to win. That's what Elite League's all about right there.
You never, ever know how things are going to flip at the end of songs. It was the... one more note missed by Sanic, and it is flipped. They hit every single thing they had to win that chart. It is tied 1-1 after 2.
Wow. Just wow. Both players have to take a second. They have to, right? For most people, when you have something come down to that at this stage of play, you feel like you want to take at least a second to just be like, okay, well, let me recenter here. Let me get back focused, because that was just... And, respect is probably being shown from both players there. I mean, I can imagine Remix knowing them, being like, that was phenomenal. We're going right into Fallen Symphony, though, as the counterpunch.
I was going to mention, this is Remix's opportunity to try and take advantage of all of the songs that Sanic has had to play today up until this point. So now maybe trying to put that pressure on, really test, hey, how much stamina do you really have? I'm going to push it and see if I can get you out of your game. It is Fallen Symphony Abridged is the pick. And that was a song win from Skull Joke earlier. And when it comes to former performances on this chart, when we look at Remix does have the third best score. 1.27 is their score.
Yeah, it's an interesting pick here. Again, as I've said earlier in the stream, this has been picked in a lot of matches, despite how difficult it is. I feel that a lot of players probably find this fun, and they are, believe that in any given match, they've got a chance to take it against whoever they're playing.
So we do have the slower intro sequence here. Now, again, for reference, Sanic last match scored 1.25 million. Remix's high score is 1.27. So if Remix can match their tournament best, and if Sanic matches his best, it will be Remix. But early on, it is a couple big misses from Remix, leaving Sanic with a big activation chance to make this even larger. Now, it was very similar star power for both. Remix actually going to go with a different activation here. And we will see how this affects the score. Really nice sig there from both.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness gracious, both players tearing into it. It is Remix with the lead now. And a miss in the cording is going to make that grow. Sanic does have the activation here. They're going to be back and forth on activations for a little bit, as we did have difference. So it is Remix now. Oh my goodness, it's within 1,000 points once again. But again, that star power advantage could be crucial, but at any point you could drop a phrase. None there, though, for both players, as we remain on a nice note streak for both after that intro.
Yeah, we don't have a true lead just yet. Get drops from both players here. But yeah, I mean, an SP phrase here or there could swing it. And right there, we're seeing a true lead.
Yes, we are now even on star powers. Oh, big sig, no one able to hit it there. Man, it's Sanic playing so well to keep up with Remix here. Again, this was Remix's pick.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. I think Sanic is actually performing a little bit better in this round than they were against Skull Joke at this point.
Wow, unbelievable section hit there from Remix.
Oh, here we go.
Remix, huge activation, gigantic, and that will swing the lead big time. Unbelievable section there from Remix is going to give him now about a 35,000 point lead.
I gotta take a second here. That was incredible. That was just phenomenal to see in match. My word.
Yeah, to hit that in match, down and under star power, unbelievably clutch.
It's one of those things, man, where we've seen players who hit just that section go on to win the song. Sanic has some work cut out for him to catch back up after seeing that just monstrous performance in that section.
As everybody in here has seen, this song does not get any easier. There are a couple moments to breathe here and there like we see here, but the drops keep coming on this one, and it continues to be a back and forth affair with the drops every once in a while by Remix. Don't want to let Sanic back into this one. Actually, Sanic able to get a little whammy out of that. Remix is not, and Sanic will take every single iota of advantage he can get at this point.
Something you have to consider, too, these little misses that Remix has been having is starting to eat away. They eat away a little bit at the lead with single notes. That's 3K apiece, not under SP. So that adds up. We're seeing that the lead has shrunk a decent bit there.
Huge section. Both players at the first cycle until the end there. Man, Sanic gets the second one, Remix does not. Third one, Sanic gets it again. Ridiculous stuff. And now we are within 29,000. I want to say 26.
Yeah, dude, I think you're right on the money there with the score differential. There's so much song left that while Remix built up a really nice solid lead after that really difficult section, Sanic is crawling their way back.
It is Sanic slowly but surely biting back in this one. Now Remix does have the opportunity with just one big activation like we saw him take the lead with earlier. That can be enough to put Sanic away, but we're not going to see it yet. A slower part as both players get a chance to just have one last sip of air before you get into the crazy end of this chart. And it is all on the line. The winner of this song will have the 2-1 advantage. Certainly not a game-deciding advantage, but it is not something you want to do if you're Remix. Drop a song pick. Big time activation. A lot of chords. Both players missed at the beginning of that, and another miss there from Sanic. So now it is going to be Remix opening that lead up a little bit more. 47,000 now for the 3 seed.
Yeah, Remix absolutely came out the better player in that particular activation. And right here, you're going to see that the player who just performs better throughout these weird chord single note fret changes is going to likely be the winner of this. But both players are performing basically the same here.
Remix eclipses 1 million points. Sanic still with a way to go. Again, it's the small drops every now and then from Remix that's keeping Sanic in it, but the big-time performance under the activations has been the key for Remix. He's going to need a couple more, and some more drops for Sanic, opening up even more now. The activation will come here from both.
Yeah, man, that was a really rough set of 2 phrases dropped from Sanic, which we're seeing a true lead now. Remix has extended it. Getting the SP phrase there, Sanic only getting a sliver of whammy, and that's it. And it's looking more and more likely that Remix will come through with this with a win.
If prior scores are anything to go by, we've got about 150,000 points plus left on the board for Sanic to come back. So it's going to take a lot of drops from Remix, who is now up by over 70,000 and continues to be locked in on the most difficult sections and where it matters the most. So Remix, having performed just when he needs to.
Are we going to see another 1.3 mil, maybe? It's going to be close.
It's going to be very, very close. Even if it's not, it is an incredibly impressive performance. About 20,000 less points there from Sanic on this run rather than the last run, but it is an in-match PB from Remix. 2-1, minus 90.
And if you look at the stat sheet here, the score difference is absolutely insane, but the miscounts are very similar. Sanic had the higher streak, but it was the SP. It was the SP that Remix was able to not just get better activations off, but they performed better in those activations. And that is so crucial in matches like this.
98% to 97% does prove to be the difference. So it is now song number 4 between these two excellent players. And now it is interesting. Well, the pick is in, so never mind. Nothing's interesting. It's Ghost.
It's one of those things where I'm wondering when we're going to see Stutter Step, because we already saw that Sanic had the best performance the entire tournament on that song. I suspect Sanic is just waiting for that opportune time to bust it out.
Now that brings up an excellent point. Now, you do want to put as much pressure as you can on the player that you're going up against, but you also do want to keep some pocket picks, some picks available where if things get bad, you have something you can lean on to keep yourself in the match. So yeah, there definitely is some strategy as to when to deploy which songs, as well as just finding out which songs you need to pick against a specific player.
Yeah, some players in matches, competitive matches, may not have a quote-unquote pocket pick, but at this level, just about everybody has at least one song that they feel very, very strong on. And yeah, you may want to just save it until the opportune time. And that we may be seeing that.
It was Sanic scoring 800,000 points on a -6 in the last match on this song, which is good for third in the tournament. Remix only having played this once. 733 is Remix's score. I've got a feeling we've got a better performance coming, though, because Remix has been locked in and I'm sure been prepping for this match. Now it is Remix with the early lead here until the drop there. As soon as I say it, Brad, there's that caster curse, but we are even on star power now.
And the caster curse just never leaves, but yeah, we are even on SP. Score differential just not much at all. Still plenty of match to play. Let's keep watching.
And these players making these all-strum sections and these reset sections look so easy. Nothing easy about it. You are seeing some of the best when it comes to competitive players right now. This Zig section, incredibly tricky. First drop is from Sanic and another as well, while Remix remains unbelievably locked.
Yeah, this is absolutely incredible. This section is just unbelievably difficult. They just make it seem so easy. Definitely a little bit more of a lead here for Remix, but more SP here from Sanic, who gets the overlap. Remix does not.
Oh man, so now we are within 1,000 points once again. These players just cannot get any breathing room.
Oh, this is just simply incredible, simply incredible. We get a miss there from Sanic, but it is still so unbelievably close.
Now, one extra phrase worth of activation. We will see the difference in activation now. Sanic holding on heavily, activating right on those chords. We will see after all of this where the scores end up with. Some misses there from Remix. It is going to be a flip. No, it's not. It is within 1,000 still. So it is Remix barely holding on to that lead.
Both of these players just putting forth their absolute best and keeping it just neck and neck pretty much the entire time.
Dropped phrase there from Remix. So now SanicStudios with the lead and the star power advantage.
Yeah, it looks like Sanic is in a commanding position at the moment, but you just never know what can happen at any point in a song.
A drop here would have massive point implications, but so far so good from Sanic. Dropped phrase though, so now Remix has the star power advantage back in his favor, and he's gonna need it to make this comeback a reality.
Yeah, if Sanic were to happen to miss a phrase somewhere in here, Remix would be in great shape. We do get a miss there, but the activation did not hurt them too much because they were able to get back onto a decent multiplier.
And the transitions from the trills to the chording, just phenomenal from Sanic right now.
Oh yeah, this is absolutely ridiculous play. They're having, again, the SP advantage with the lead. Hugely favoring Sanic right now.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Disgusting, man.
Yeah, this is just insane. So there's about a 20,000 point lead. And a little bit more star power. Also seems to be getting a little more whammy per star power phrase. Does Sanic. Drop there on the... Oh my goodness, there's an activation left and a miss from Sanic. Can this flip? You cannot miss anymore if you're Sanic. You do still have 11,000 point lead. And it might not be enough. It will not be. Sanic holds on, and we are dead even once again.
What's interesting, man, is if we look at the previous match, Sanic got that SP phrase to take the song. And in this case, while they do miss it, they didn't get enough there from Remix's end to swing it back. So Sanic, in either case, whether getting the SP phrase or not, manages to win this song twice in a row now.
2 more notes missed from Sanic. The same result. Another win on Ghost. Both players showing the Ghost as well. Very impressive. But yeah, I mean, it's Sanic. Just a level of consistency on this chart that is extremely impressive and proving to be a very valuable asset here on the final day of streams. So, I mean, Sanic showing up and showing out large on that song pick, it is crucial. Now we are even.
Yeah, I want to say that it is one of those rare instances that a player ended up getting more SP phrases than the one who ends up winning the song. You just don't see that too often, especially at this level of play.
You are 100% correct. Not a lot of misses under the star power activations as well. And also, incredibly important, was that both players were maintaining combo throughout those very most note-dense sections of star power. So that probably ended up being the big difference. The pick is in. We do see kickback as the picks. Remix has 3 scores in the top 6 on this one, all better than Sanic's score. This is another quick song.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going in punch for punch here. We're looking at an even up match. Remix going in to try to take the lead. There's the possibility, man, of a tiebreaker scenario happening. We have yet to see it in Elite League playoffs. This match could take us the distance.
Well, we do know, and a miss there early from Remix. This is a strum pick we have not seen yet. I mean, you talk about technicians on the strum bar. Both of them are going to have to prove it right now because this song is the ultimate technical test.
Yeah, this song, I mean,
stutter step.
Man, you were just talking there for just a little bit. We're already a quarter of the way through. I mean, this song is just unbelievably fast.
Yeah, I mean, under 3 minutes for sure. I mean, that sustain alone probably took up 7% of the song.
Yeah, you're just about on point there. It's one of those things where a lead in this of like 20, 30K is actually very significant because even though there's a lot of chords, there's not a lot of song.
That being said, though, a drop there could put you on the wrong up or down strum, and that could greatly affect your ability to get back into a rhythm. But so far, so good for Sanic, who has found a clear rhythm early, and Remix activating here will not take the lead, even with the star power disadvantage now, so Sanic remains excellent through the first half. Now there's still a half of song to go. The activation will come there for Sanic, who will also overlap, and both players getting rid of that star power as we have more coming for the more note-dense sections approaching.
You may look at an activation like that and be like, well, why would they want to activate there? It's because of stuff like this, where you're going to get more SP and it's more advantageous for you to burn it early to get even those little bit of points as to not ensure yourself getting, you know, few points. You want to make sure you're getting optimal points. So that's why you saw an activation like that.
Now we do see an overlap from Sanic that we do not from Remix, so it is now Remix with the star power advantage. And this last section, though, very tricky. It's going to have to be a couple misses for Remix to come back, and so far that's not looking likely.
The man, it's looking like we might see a song steal here, perhaps.
And more from that, we will see the second FC of this song, Kickback FC by Sanic. Unbelievable performance. That is the first song steal. It is 3-2 in favor of the 8 seed in this lower finals match.
And importantly, every single player that's in the top 4 now has gotten an FC on this set list. In fact, only the top 4 players of Elite League managed to FC something off the set list. That's huge.
Not quite. Jarvis also did FC Allegro Mastosa.
That's true. That's very true. But all top 4 players that remain have managed to get an FC on it. So that's still incredible.
Well, also, Jeff does not have an in-match FC. Sorry to keep correcting you.
That's true. He has FC'd some songs.
Yes, Jeff has FC'd songs in here as well. Yeah, so here we go. I mean, now we have the first song steal, and I mean, how do you prepare for Sanic, who again has Remix has 3 scores on the board, all better than Sanic on that song, and then Sanic comes in an FC. How do you prepare for that?
It's one of those things where you just have to be like, okay, you respect the opponent. You understand that they are, you know, even though they've already played a match, they're probably feeling it a little bit. It seems to be playing very strongly in their favor. And you just have to, again, punch back with something you feel very strong on. That's really all you can do.
It is a back and forth matchup. This is the first surprise blow to Remix here. So a lot of extra thought now going into this pick, and understandably so. This certainly throws a wrench into your plans when you have a song potentially drawn up as a song win. How does that affect the rest of your game plan going into the next one?
At this point, you may want to start thinking about tiebreaker scenarios, because this certainly has the opportunity to go there. And we're going to see Awakening from Remix here.
Awakening is the pick, the hybrid.
It's something that I believe that Remix has already performed extraordinarily strong on. And in fact, they do have the second highest score with a 932K, Sanic with a 914. So it's close enough that it really could go either way.
Right. I had to update the title of the stream, but we are back. It is now official again. I forgot to change it. But that being said, huge selection here. We did see this played last time as well from Sanic, and it was Sanic winning this one. This was Sanic's pick, actually. So this is a very bold selection by Remix. But if you're feeling comfortable, you got to go with what you know.
Yeah, I believe Remix is very confident on this song in particular compared to some of the other ones that are still left on the table. So I'm not too surprised. They probably feel that, hey, I know Sanic is very strong on this as well, but I feel I'm a little stronger.
You will have to prove it here. That is the first drop of the song. It is going to be from Remix. And we saw some really impressive performance by Sanic on the solos of this. Now, replicating that in back-to-back matches is going to prove to be a real challenge. And As we get into the strumming now, yeah, it is going to be a tight one for sure.
This sort of strumming does favor Remix over Sanic, even though Sanic is, proficient, clearly, at stuff like this. But Remix is very, very comfortable. One of the best strummers in the community. They're not even breaking a sweat playing something like this. So again, another reason why I'm not too surprised to see that they pick this.
Yeah, there's no surprise that Sanic did pick the Strum Speed pick of Total Destroy / Strum Stamina. Because Remix, just an unbelievable strummer. I mean, you look at the career FCs from Remix's side, it's insane stuff. I believe the Oppression 110, for example, is one that Remix has. But it is Sanic right now with this slight lead until that drop there flips it. So Remix now in the driver's seat, but misses the phrase. Sanic with the lead in the star power lead now.
And see, that's what I was talking about the last time this was played, that section right there has been a difference maker to who ends up winning this song. If you cannot perform those chord changes where there's been SP there, you just can't get your activations off that you need to, and you ended up dropping combo while your opponent's still maintaining. It's a big swing difference.
My goodness, and another drop there from Remix on a phrase, and now Sanic is going to take a large... Again, Sanic got a -2 on this song last time. So it is going to be a tall mountain to climb for Remix now.
Yeah, and we could be looking at another steal. I mean, this is quite impressive here. Chord changes?
Sanic, yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Just phenomenal play right now from the right side of everybody's screen. SanicStudios, the 8th seed, showing out in a massive way. An unbelievable set of performances so far, and continues to put the pressure on higher-seeded players as we approach what could be a 4-2 lead on the 3-seed Remix.
That's, again, as incredible as Remix has performed, Sanic is playing out of their mind today. This is just phenomenal play. It's certainly not over, but Sanic is just not giving an inch on many of these songs here.
The ever-important solo activation now. Both players at the same exact time. It will come down to this ending section here. Sanic not able to get out of it clean, but other than one single miss, it is, well, actually a couple notes missed, and that is a perfect solo for Remix. So certainly doing everything he can now to fight back. It's going to have to be Sanic maintaining the consistency he's shown all day on this song if he's going to want to close this one out and take that important 4-2 lead.
Yeah, we're in a position right now where Sanic is just holding so strongly and just not giving up with those mistakes that Remix has shown throughout this song. And really, there's one more opportunity where Remix really could climb back into this. That's a start there. But really, Remix needs to be absolutely perfect here with Sanic dropping. Let's see what happens.
So far, so good from Remix's side, who has really found a nice rhythm after all this. No overlap from both. That's massive for Sanic to maintain that right path. Knowing exactly when to activate. Very, very important to make sure you hit all the spots you need to.
Yeah, right now, again, Remix has, as you said, found rhythm, found their form on this song, but it might be a little too late, as Sanic is still maintaining a decent note streak here. Even though Remix is clearly higher, Sanic is performing more than enough to maintain that lead and possibly close out the song.
As you do mention, Brad, it does look to be too little too late, as Sanic, out of nowhere, is going to take a 4-2 lead. We are on match point. Sanic, 4-2.
Absolutely incredible. And to show, chat, that I can indeed read the stats spreadsheet correctly. Apologize earlier. Got some names mixed up. It does happen. That was, again, an incredible performance. It does look like that was in match PB from Sanic there. Right now, as we have logged the third highest score that has been put up. We don't really have the Sanic skull joke, which I do apologize. I cannot remember that exact score. But Sanic did enough there to prove that they are very strong on this song, and they are here to make it to Grands. Now, there's still plenty of match left. Remix still has those pathways, but Remix now needs to bust out, because we're not at a tiebreaker scenario yet. They need to bust out the best thing they've got. They could potentially be thinking about tiebreaker implications, but they've got to think about what's left on the table that I am best at.
It is a deep hole to climb out of. Now, it is not quite the hole that Skulljoke found herself in against Sanic. That was 4-1. This is 4-2. So you have one song pick, then you have to steal one to get to that ever important tiebreaker. The pick is in it. It's the same safety pick that Skulljoke went with last match. It is Heat Wave.
Now, Demand, assuming Remix wins this song, what's left on the table that we haven't seen yet that a player who has played today has already put up the best score in tournament? What's still left on the table?
Well, why don't you enlighten me, Brad?
I think we might have Stutter Step that happens to still be on the table. It's a scary situation for Remix to be in, because assuming Remix wins this song, and they absolutely need to stay in not just this match but the tournament, on the other side of it is Stutter Step potentially.
And in this insanely tricky solo to start, man, Sanic still playing incredibly consistently. Really important phrase, and Remix is able to get it. It's so important for Remix to keep the pressure on right now.
Yeah, it's very important for Sanic to, if they can close it out right here, they don't have to worry about another pick. That's it. That is the match. But Remix on the other side here, right now just performing, it's about the same. Still about the same.
A couple misses under activation there. Remix now able to fight back into this one. It is within 1,000 points once again. And another drop there. Now Remix in the lead.
Yeah, that SP phrase certainly does not help things, but there's so much song left to play that Sanic could certainly come back if Remix happens to have either a botched activation or maybe they miss an SP phrase. We'll just have to see.
In that burst of threats there, it is now Sanic back with the lead. We do have that star power difference, so the upcoming activation will illuminate us in terms of where we sit in terms of true score difference. It's going to also have to be about comboing, because you can have a lead on paper, assuming you hit everything, but as soon as you miss under star power, that goes out the window. Another big section here.
And oh goodness, it does look like Sanic came out the better player there with a perfect solo, and we get a missed phrase there from Remix. Sanic holding on to get the phrase and maintaining the lead.
Sanic maintains an unreal level of play as he has all day long. The pressure is even greater now as Remix is about to enter the second half of what could be his final song of the tournament.
Man, I gotta tell you, the story of this match has not been performance necessarily. Obviously, it's performance, but it's SP. Sanic has hit more phrases, really, and had more opportune activations than Remix has had. We've seen in a few songs that Remix has just dropped crucial SP phrases, and that potentially could be at play here, maybe to end the match.
It is still within striking distance, no doubt. There is plenty of tricky stuff throughout, but if Sanic keeps playing like this... Oh, but the dropped phrase... in a very crucial section. If Remix can combo out, we might have a match still on our hands. Missed there, but about 30,000. So able to weather the storm is Sanic. Not quite over yet, but that will certainly help Sanic's case.
Yeah, if Sanic is able to just continue to get these SP phrases, at least stay, tit for tat with Remix, having maybe those Tom and Jerry misses, I think Sanic may have enough, but there's still plenty of song. There's still plenty of song. A botched activation and a missed SP phrase, as alluded to, could swing it back in Remix's favor.
Players perfect solos on that last solo and have maintained the combos since then. It is going to need to be Sanic blinking and blinking hard if Remix wants a chance at the comeback now, but time is running out for the 3 seed.
We are going to see most likely one more activation from both players. Sanic still holding about a 30k lead. Demand, I don't know. I don't know if there's enough.
Remix fighting as hard as he can, but the door is closing. And Sanic, who started today with potentially the lowest odds in people's minds of making this final. Another brilliant section by Sanic. And I'm going to wait until it's dead and gone. And that will do it. Sanic, unbelievable. Back-to-back wins, will be playing in the Elite League Finals.
This is incredible. I don't know what to say. In fact, I'm gonna go back through and just look real quick. The man, if you got a few more things you want to say, I'm gonna look and see if anybody had this specific finals matchup because I don't know how many people had this.
I don't think we did because we have no more perfect brackets. So I would feel very confident saying no, we do not. It was a -13 from Sanic. And man, it has been song after song of brilliance from Sanic right now. And man, that guarantees at least second place for Sanic. Remix finishes third overall in the Elite League.
And I just looking back, there was not a single bracket that predicted this finals matchup. So that just goes to show the absolute incredible talent that we have across the board here. You've got the 8 seed SanicStudios making it to Grands, and this is actually a rematch from round 1. They're going up against Jeff again to have a shot
Absolutely.
at the title.
We will get a chance to briefly speak with the 3 seed remix, and I'm sure Sanic will appreciate every moment of that. He could, I'm sure, use a bit of a breather, get this guy an oxygen tank.
Yeah, looking at some of the stuff we're seeing in our stream communications channel, getting a good laugh here. Well, we've got our player end for interview.
And it is Remix. Remix, you do
Yep.
finish third overall in the Elite League. How did you feel about your performance in the match today? And kind of take us into your mind. Well, first of all, I guess I'll let you answer that.
I felt pretty all right about it. I think the longer the tournament's gone on, I've just sort of picked up really stupid mistakes in the songs, and I'm just
Mm.
missing in places that make like no sense. Uh, so I'm not sure what's up with that, but
Hmm.
I still think I played all right. I think Sanic just played like insanely well today, and it's deserved win from him.
Oh, he was very, very impressive. Yeah, there were plenty of huge song swings. I want to go back to Sacraments of Dissension, which really, as the second song, ended up being a big swing point, ended up being a 200-point difference at the end. First of all, did you know it was that close going into the ending, and knowing that the percentage of solo could have had a factor in that ending?
I actually have his highway turned off, so I had no idea. So I
Mm.
just saw it on the stat screen after. It was pretty
Oh,
crazy.
geez. Yeah. Well, either way, unbelievable performance to watch and unbelievable performance throughout the entire tournament to make it this far. You do finish third, so you do get a cut of the prize pool. You will be getting £50, so no need to change the money from pounds to anything else. But
Cool.
congratulations on that. Brad,
Thanks.
what do you have?
Yeah, Remix, going into this match, knowing that you and Sanic have had some legendary matchups
Yeah.
going into this, do you think that changed your mentality at all approaching it? Do you feel that, I know that you give respect to any player that you play, having played you before myself, but did that change your mentality at all going into it?
Not really. I mean, even though I've played Sanic 3 times before, and this is the first time he's won, any of those matches could have gone to him. It went to a tiebreaker every time. So really, on the day, it's just whoever plays better. I wasn't going into it thinking I'm definitely going to win. I knew he'd be
Mm.
able to take it, and yeah,
So what you're saying is that next time Sanic plays you, they need to not have it go to tiebreaker.
I guess that's the method.
Yeah, I just want to say, incredible performance for you getting third place in Elite League. I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked Skull Joke. You are secured for the next Elite League, having made it to the point, obviously making it in the playoffs. But will we see you back for next season?
Yeah, sure. I think I'll be there.
Nice.
All right, that's all I've
Well,
got. Again, great
yeah.
job, wonderful performance.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I do want to just give you one last moment here. This is your last kind of this is the end of the line here, so I will give you the floor here on stream. If there's any final words you'd like to share or anything you have to say, anyone we want to shout out.
Nothing in particular, but thanks for everyone who predicted and believed that I could go all the way. I know a few people believed in me that I could get there, and I'm happy with how I've done, to be honest, for the amount of tournament experience I have. So yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Remix. It was a pleasure to watch you through this entire tournament. So glad to have had you and cannot wait to see what's next coming from you.
Thank you.
Righty.
All right, the man. This is it. We are
This
in
is
grand
it.
finals.
Technically, we're in winners finals, to correct you again. But
No, technically it is grand finals because this is it. This is it. If
well,
you
it's
can't
grand
get a
finals if there's a reset. I guess is what you call it. I guess
I
it's
guess it's technically semantics, but
sure. Regardless, this is the end of the line. Jeff, RealSavageJef, who we have not had a chance to speak much about yet, is your 1 seed. Not only did Jeff go undefeated on songs in the group stage, Jeff has dropped a total of 1 song throughout the entire playoffs. That 1 song was to remix. Jeff did beat SanicStudios in the first round. This is crazy. This has to be the first time that the first round matchup ends up being the finals. But we will see it. And as we've seen, Sanic is a very different player than what he was back then.
Yeah, the last time that they had played, you get a little bit of practice in. You go into the match hoping to put forth your best. But now that Sanic has had to literally run the gauntlet from round 1 all the way up into this finals, potentially last match here, they've gotten better. And they have been putting forth their absolute best, having taken down some of the best players in the scene to get back to this rematch. I mean, want to look at it. You look at it and you're like, okay, Jeff has only dropped 1 song this entire time, the perennial favorite from many players to win this, but you cannot count out Sanic. They have just played absolutely incredible at this point, and really, it could go either way.
Well, we do have bans in. Jeff does not defer. Jeff will ban first and pick first. The ban is Allegro Maestoso. Interesting ban considering Sanic did ban it earlier, but that has been consistent with what Jeff has been doing all tournament, so no surprise there. Sanic, with his 3rd different ban of the day, very well studied is Sanic today. Light of the Hatchling, we will not see all of today. We hadn't seen it in any of the other matches leading up to this, and we will not see it today either. So it is Jeff and it is Sanic. And just to talk about Jeff for a moment before we get into our first song, it will be, I mean, if you talk about some of the greats of all time, RealSavageJef has to be in the conversation, Brad.
Yeah, Jeff has done some incredible stuff. I don't believe, now correct me if I'm wrong, because I may be wrong, Jeff does not have an Elite League title under their name, correct?
That is correct.
They did have one of, still holding up to, I believe, the strongest open playoffs finish we ever saw, and a reset coming back, seeing every single song to come back and win that match. So they are an open champion. They're on the cusp of being a grand or Elite League champion here. Yeah, you have to, when you look at Jeff, you have to think that they're just one of the greatest players competitively to ever play this game.
The only players to ever defeat Jeff in a Elite League tournament match would be JRH, a Wise Moose, Rob, and Shmooey. So that is your list of players that have ever defeated Jeff in a head-to-head matchup in CSC. We will see if that remains, or if not, it is the 1 seed Jeff. It is the 8 seed Sanic. Best of 9 to decide the Elite League championship, or to see if we will get a reset. So Jeff has 1 match to win. Sanic still has 2. First pick, Sacraments of Dissension solo medley, 125.
It's really interesting that Sanic decided to leave Total Destroy on the table, because that is just bread and butter there for Jeff. I think it's just an interesting strategy. We'll see how it plays out.
Well, it is the solo boss early, and we can look at a lot of skill for both of these players, but the 1 seed is the 1 seed for a reason. Jeff, very capable of single-digit miscounts on just about every single song here. It is going to take Sanic's absolute best in this matchup today.
Yeah, I mean, we're already seeing it right here to start. Jeff is just still on a tear. Sanic only having a few misses to keep it close, but in order for Sanic to climb back and take the lead, Jeff's armor has to crack somewhere.
So far, nothing doing, no light poking through that armor as Jeff continues this torrid stretch. Worth noting, the last time this song was played, the longest note streak was 400. Jeff now at 750. Make it 800.
And the note streak just continues to
Oh
grow.
my God. First drop there for Jeff. And it's still only about a 25,000 point lead. So not unachievable for a comeback. But it's going to take a lot of drops because Jeff is just that good.
Yeah, it is certainly mountable. It's not insurmountable. We can see it. We can see it come back, but it is getting a little tougher as we're getting to about the halfway point, and Jeff is just still hitting absurd stuff.
Absolutely. And Brad, I'll have you take over really quick as I adjust the stream title.
All right, so right now we're seeing an activation there from both players. Both keeping a combo through some pretty awkward stuff. We do see a miss there from Jeff with Sanic holding through that. And through, oh my God, just absolutely incredible performances from both there through this absolute insanity. And Jeff, unbelievably, getting that SP phrase. Sanic does miss it, and Jeff is getting that lead further and further away here in their favor to potentially take this first song if Sanic just cannot hold it together and Jeff just not dropping.
And that, man, both players hitting that phrase as well. I mean, it is incredibly impressive. Even the parts I didn't see, it sounded crazy. But that being said, it is Jeff with a large lead early, looking like a very strong and well-studied first pick for Jeff. And if there was not, there should be no concern about either of these players being warm at this point.
Yeah, I imagine that Jeff was putting in a lot of practice just before these matches to keep warm. And clearly there is no nerves going into this first song. I mean, there very well could be, but we're not seeing it at all. We're looking at over 100K difference here. And as alluded to earlier in the stream, we really haven't seen a 100K lead, certainly in this Elite League, that somebody's come back from.
Again, to reiterate, Jeff, one of the best players of all time when it comes to 5-fret games. So certainly a tall task for Sanic to try and take a match from Jeff. Again, only one song has been stolen from Jeff so far. It's only the first song. We will see Sanic getting to pick on his strengths, but it is a 130,000 point victory in song number 1 for Jeff.
And Jeff, not messing around, got an in-match PB. That is the highest score that, since unless there is a reset, this may very well be the highest score we will see in this tournament with this song. Absolutely incredible.
Absolutely. So it is now going to be Sanic looking for the response, minus 73.97% versus the minus 25.99% from Jeff. On the solo boss, supposed to be the hardest solo song available, minus 25 from Jeff.
It's going to be interesting to see which way that Sanic decides to approach this, because again,
especially early.
Yeah, it's one of those things where do you go and try to punch up right from the start? Do you go with your best pick? Or do you still play it a little conservative to try to hope that you'll be able to keep it even as the match continues on before busting out your best pick?
Man alive, what a start for Jeff. But it has been Sanic all day who has been fighting back and making every single player earn every inch that they could get. The pick is in, and this is a little surprising to me, but it is going to be well, actually, after the FC, it shouldn't be. Total Destroy 115 is the pick by Sanic.
Now, this is something that I think Jeff was wanting to see played either from himself or somebody picking it, because if I recall correctly, Jeff, I believe, has a 1-miss run on this, and they probably want to try to redeem themselves. This is a complete surprise. We'll have to ask whenever we get the opportunity to ask why Sanic kind of went this route, because this is Jeff's bread and butter, you know. It's not like we're seeing like a Jeff remix where you'd expect either player to pick it. This is something you would expect Jeff to pick, not the other way around.
Absolutely. When it comes to strum, speed, and stamina, if it's not remix, it is certainly Jeff leading the pack in this Elite League. Not only the playoffs, but even the group stage. So certainly a surprising pick. This is lightning fast, incredibly fast strumming. Hard to overstate just how difficult it is to combo this well on a song and to maintain the stamina to continue to perform.
Yeah, it's again, I am a little baffled. We'll have to ask what was the mentality going into this pick? Because again, we're seeing Jef just flying through this, no drops yet. Sanic has had multiple at this point, and as the song progresses, it gets harder and harder, as you said, the endurance to continue to perform well on it. We do get our first miss there from Jef, but still.
Yeah, it is a 45,000 point lead now for Jef at the halfway mark. The stamina test really comes in the latter stages, though, so that will be where the song can be decided if there is a slip on one side or the other. Now, obviously, you never expect that from a player of Jef's caliber, but nothing is off the table when the pressure is on like it is here in the Elite League final.
Yeah, there's still plenty of song left. Now, I would be beyond shocked if Jef were to, say, run out of steam on this song, but anything could happen. But we are getting closer and closer to that kind of window where it may not be possible for Sanic to come back on, having missed multiple. Well, they did get the praise. Correction. But even with that, Jef maintaining a close to a 70k lead.
It does look as though Sanic's engine is starting to run out of steam on this one. Man, it is so fast. And a couple misses there as Jef continues to totally destroy this song pick right here. And it is looking as though it is going to be a 2-0 lead after this song pick. Man.
Just absolutely brutal. I mean, yeah, we're past the 100k point at this point. I don't believe there's enough. Even if Jef were to stop playing, I don't think there's enough points. Sanic's going to have to just try to reset and go on to the next pick, I think.
And there it is. Another 130,000 point victory for Jef. Phenomenal play. -10.
And knowing Jef, they're probably not happy with that performance. I know they won, they're winning it by over 130k, but they're probably not happy with that. But again, as I alluded to, Sanic now needs to focus on the next pick because right now it's 2-0. Sanic has potentially 3 more picks that they've got to worry about here. So I don't know. Demand, where do you think, if you were in this situation, as a competitor yourself, where do you think you would go as far as picks? We don't even have to worry.
I would go Stutter Step, which just happened to be the pick.
You know what? I would too. I would also go Stutter Step.
Well, there it is. The pick is Stutter Step by Sanic. Another pick that I would say leans Jef. Also a bit surprising here.
The only thing that I could think, and this is just from myself having been a competitor, Sanic has already performed extraordinarily well on this song. Now, I know that Jef, looking back at the stat sheet here, Jef has not actually played this song in tournament, and I know outside of tournament, Jef has performed extraordinarily strong on this. But because Sanic has already performed strong in tournament, maybe they're just feeling confident. They're like, hey, maybe there's just not a ton on the board that I feel I could be strong on. Let's see if this one is in my favor today.
If I'm not mistaken, someone can correct me on this. I believe Sanic's miscount was around a -20. Jef had played this song before it was in tournament. His PB was a 100% overstrum with 3 total overstrums. So Jef is capable of hitting every note in this song. We will see how he's feeling today and if Sanic can keep the pressure on.
Yeah, and we're seeing a miss there early, which
no FC today from Jef.
Sanic just needs to maintain their composure, have confidence, and I believe that's actually the second time today that we've seen them get through that initial set of chords there with an FC intact.
Yeah, but it is the early lead from Sanic, but the leads go by quickly in a song like this. There will be plenty of misses, as we saw. These verses are just chock full of insane difficulty, and here we go.
Yeah, really solid activation here from both players. Still really just that one miss separating them. And unbelievably, Sanic is still on an FC.
You just had to say it. There is the first miss from Sanic. And now Jef with the star power advantage, but not the lead until just then. Sanic falls behind now as Jef is able to take that lead.
And Sanic is still playing fairly strong here, but those little misses here and there adding up, and we're seeing more and more now, unfortunately. And Jef has now taken on a 300 note streak, getting the right activations, and even with that drop, the lead has just swung wildly.
Completely ballooned for Jef now. What a swing! What a set of strums hit by Jef there. I mean, I'm getting a little bit speechless here because the amount of precision by Jef there, phenomenal.
We're getting yet again to that territory where a comeback just may not be feasible. Of course, in any given match, you just never know what's going to happen. I've said that time and time again already just in this cast, but it's a tall task when you know that you're not performing to your best and you know you're playing against arguably the best player in Elite League right now. It's a tall task for Sanic at the moment.
As we get through, again, kind of one of the bigger breaks of the song, which is a funny way to say something that isn't one of the hardest sections you'll ever see. As Jef just continues to be absolutely clean through everything. Things do pick up even more here in this solo. A little less courting overall, but still really, really tight and quick bursts. Another phrase from Jef.
I mean, we got a few misses there from Jef, but yeah, we're looking at about 100K lead. There's not a ton of song left. Jef is just playing out of his mind against the player who was already playing out of their mind going into this match.
Really nice by both there. And just a couple drops there from Sanic as Jef continues to rip this solo. And that is just a single dropped area there for Jef. A couple of notes overall, but what a run again. It is going to once again be a 130,000 point difference in favor of the 1 seed Jef, who has been real savage today. It is 3-0 already.
And not just that, but Jef put up, we already saw a huge in-match PB from Sanic earlier, and Jef just destroyed that with a -5, 600 note streak. I mean, what do you do? What do you do?
-5 on Stutter Step. In match, in the finals.
I mean, Sanic's pathway at the moment, I really, again, I go back to Total Destroy kind of being a pivotal point here. I don't understand the reasoning behind the pick. Still, again, we'll have to ask, but we got to focus on the now. It is 3-0 in favor of Jef. Jef is 2 songs away from winning Elite League. Sanic is still in this match, but their pathways are narrowing. They've got to find somewhere, some song that they can gain ground on.
Destroy, destroy, destroy. The happy end is the next pick. That gimmick hybrid is back once again.
Oh, it actually is not a bad pick. This is actually a fairly smart pick because Jef on their worst run is very close to Sanic on their best. So if Jef happens to have a really bad run and Sanic has a great run, Sanic could take this song.
This Rasp burial chart has proven to be an issue early for players in terms of hitting this introduction sequence. So far, so good for both. Sanic not able to get a full bar. Jef is able to whammy out a full bar on that. Very impressive as well. And that star power running out just in time to not overlap. It does look like Sanic, though, with a slight lead, perhaps.
Yep, just ever so slightly, but that's not going to help.
Oh, that is not going to help at all. There is going to be a massive swing here. This is a massive swing section, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where those little misses, they just add up throughout a song. But there's so much in this song that things could happen at any point in time to swing it. But so far, Jef is holding on without dropping anything.
And these 3-0 chords under star power. Wow, I mean, look at the score go. It is now above 60,000. Or it's actually pretty much 60,000 on the money between these two.
Jef is just not giving Sanic a chance to get back in this. I mean, this is just insane.
No, even if Sanic had hit everything, there's a chance that Jef could be in the lead right now because the activations have also been superb from the 1 seed on the left side of your screen.
Now, with a quarter through, you know, you might look at this and be like, oh, there's no shot that Sanic could get back in this. But let me tell you, there's still plenty of stuff in here. There's plenty of phrases, plenty of difficult stuff. If Jef just starts not doing what they're doing currently, it could swing, but oh, this is tough, man. This is tough.
It is tough for anybody facing Jeff. As we mentioned, only the most insane players that have competed in any of these tournaments have been able to dethrone Jeff before in match. So it is already a tall task. And with Jeff playing as well as he is right now, it is even tougher.
Yeah, what we're witnessing right now is just the 1 seed doing what the 1 seed typically does in these tournaments. They just, you have to be at your absolute peak and then some to stand a chance against them. And right now, we're just seeing that Jeff is not giving an inch at all. They are just punching through left and right, not giving Sanic a chance.
There have been a lot of really great matches in this tournament, but the story has to have been the 1 seed Jeff's level of dominance this season, which has just been phenomenal so far. And it looks like it's going to continue. Now, again, we still have a couple big sections left. So if it comes to a couple star power phrases and some misses under those star powers, then that is your opportunity for a song drop. But man, so far, still with a single song drop under his belt, it is Jeff representing the United States, who has been just continuing to appear as strong as everybody thought he might be going into this tournament.
Yeah, if there were any doubts in anybody's mind, and I don't suspect there were many, if any, but if there were any doubts whatsoever, they've got to be squashed at this point with the performance that we're seeing here from Jeff. This is just absolutely incredible. And something
every
else
single star power. Yeah, I was just going to say that these star power activations have been absolute money from Jeff as well.
Yeah. Something else that we also have to consider is match fatigue. Sanic gave his all in the past 2 matches. But even if Sanic were putting forth the same performances that we saw earlier, it wouldn't be enough. Jeff is still outperforming what we've seen earlier.
Yeah, I mean, a remarkable level of skill right now.
Yeah, we almost reached territory of 200k being the difference, and Sanic has unfortunately stopped at this point, perhaps to conserve energy.
Yeah, and I mean, that is an in-match PB of this song as well for Jeff.
Yep. Not just for Jeff, but for everybody else on the field. A -4. I mean, come on.
Wow.
All right, man. We are at 4-0 in favor of Jeff. Sanic has, no matter what happens for this first match here, potentially the last match, they've got 1 pick left. With everything on the table, do they go with something they feel strong? Do they go vibes? We've seen that many times before. I just don't know. I
have a feeling I think we're going to get a quick pick here, and I think it's going to be a vibes pick because unfortunately with some of those drops, I mean, we can only speculate. The pick is in. It is going to be Ghost, which has been a song that Sanic's won twice today. But I do think kind of at the end there, showing some of that frustration and just almost kind of kneeling and showing your sword before your opponent, just saying, you know what, you got it. Because Jeff right now, it's a tough task for anybody on the planet to walk in on this set list and play Jeff right now.
Yeah. With everybody that participated in Elite League this season, I genuinely cannot think of a single name that I would have put into this against Jeff that I felt strongly could have countered him. I feel like we're getting the best player to be the counter as the one who ran through everybody else up to this point to get here. But it's just so hard to think of another name who could have been like, oh yeah, that's someone who could have taken Jeff the tiebreak. You know what I mean? It's no disrespect to the rest of the players on the field. It's just when you look at what Jeff has done, it's hard to put another name up there.
I mean, you're looking at 3 out of 4 songs being tournament personal bests in among everybody from Jeff here in this final. So if you're not putting out the best runs of 4 or more songs against Jeff, you're not winning the songs.
Yeah.
Now, both players playing very well to start here. Sanic has had the most success so far on this chart I've mentioned it before. Sanic has made a chart of this song. Now this is the like Halloween VIP remix, but the Camellia song Ghost, Sanic has been very confident and comfortable with this tournament, and that could be part of the reason why both players are looking very confident right now. We are coming up on that really quick quad section. First drop there is from Sanic. It is a dropped phrase. But here's that really tricky section. Jef hits the first cycle. They both hit the second cycle as well. Oh, Jef right at the end misses. Sanic able to combo through.
And, you know, impressively, Demand, if this does end up being the final song, Jef has not gotten an FC in match. Period.
Yeah.
As I was corrected earlier on.
No, absolutely. But the FCs have been far and few between, because this has been such a challenging set list. To get any FC of any kind, incredibly difficult. Also, I do remember I misspoke earlier when I was referencing the FC on Total Destroy. I meant on Kickback, which also brings up why not pick Kickback, having FC'd it. But regardless, this is where we are, and where we are is both players activating same amount of star power here. It is Jef with a 16,000 point lead on tournament point at the halfway mark.
Yeah, it's as long as Jef continues to keep this sort of streak up with the few misses that Sanic has had. And, you know, to be fair to Sanic, being down 0-4, they're still performing extraordinarily well, not giving up at all, hoping to maybe steal a point here.
Yes, while there was some frustration at the end of Destroy, 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 Sanic certainly giving his best effort here at the end, and it's still within shouting distance, no doubt. The problem is, if you're a player in a tournament and what you need is for Jef to start missing notes, you're in a pretty bad spot, as proven by how he's playing today.
Yeah, I mean, what more can be said? Jef is just unstoppable right now. There has not been a single moment really in this match where Jef has let up enough to give Sanic the possibility of coming back.
And with how impressive Sanic has played all day today, it is Jef with the top 2 scores on Ghost. So it is certainly already an uphill battle from that perspective. And Jef now approaching 1,400, and there it is, 1,400 straight for the 1 seed.
This is just absolutely absurd. And you know, it is possible maybe Jef overstrummed earlier, perhaps. Maybe he's not 100% overstrummed at the moment.
A former Elite League participant, an invitational participant, an Open Championship winner. It is now time to put the crown on Jef, your winner of the 2025 Elite League playoffs in dominant fashion.
Yeah, this was the closest song that we had, and Jef just absolutely deserves to be crowned the champion. It was a -1, completely just unstoppable on every single song that was played. Again, as I said, I don't think there was a single player on the field that was realistically going to be able to go up against Jef and win. But that being said, Sanic put forth an absolutely monstrous performance to get to this point. So we definitely have to give some claps to Sanic as well. And yes, Jef is our 2025 Elite League champion.
In the playoffs, Jef goes 20-1 on song picks in the playoff. Truly phenomenal run. One of the most dominant Elite League runs we have ever seen. Maybe the most dominant ever.
Just about. We've seen some performances by, you know, the most decorated player, JRH, having put up some just absolutely unstoppable performances that we've seen. But this right here from Jef, with us going out of our way to try to curate as many top tier talent players as we could, and Jef just running through them without really breaking a sweat. It's just incredible. Simply incredible.
Well, I'm sure he's at least broken a sweat, but it is incredibly impressive from Jef. What a run, what a performance. We will get to speak to our top 2 finishers as well in just a moment.
They should be joining us any second here. And here they are.
And here they are. Here is everybody, including our ref, Luna. Shout out to Luna. Jeff, congratulations. You are the 2025 Elite League champion. How does it feel?
Oh my god. I'm elated to say the least. I know I popped up since like that last note on Ghost. I feel like I just lost 20 pounds. I feel like I played the best of my ability there. I feel like I put on a show. Yeah, I'm feeling really great.
So we put on a show. We just mentioned the stat 20-1 on song picks this Elite League. Maybe the most dominant performance we have seen in an Elite League playoffs. So very, very well played throughout. And also worth noting, 4 of those 5 scores were tournament PBs on songs. So certainly living up to that 1 seed. Phenomenal performance to say the least. Not really a question. Well, I guess the question is how did you feel about the tournament as a whole and kind of your progression through?
I know we talked about it before. I always think of what Gabe told me. As long as I'm still in the tournament, I should get better. And I should get better, and I will get better. And I feel like I played the best I've ever played this whole tournament today. So I feel like that I've only gotten better, and I'm only gonna strive to get better.
Absolutely. And Sanic, another prime example of someone getting better and better as the tournament went on. It was a unbelievable run to get to the finals, to make the first match of the tournament also be the last match. 1 seed versus 8 seed is unprecedented. So huge congrats to you on that. What were your thoughts going into this match after having played 2 insane matches just beforehand?
I think after what happened on Stutter Step and on Kickback, anything could have happened, and I would have been more than happy.
Hmm.
Like a 5-0 is a 5-0, but it's against Jeff, so what do you expect? Like, I was going into this with full expectations of there's a potential I might win a song, probably not. And if the match ends and I've had fun, then so be it. I've had the last 2 matches to go off.
Absolutely. Well, you definitely went off those last 2 matches, no doubt. I was a little surprised you went Total Destroy instead of Kickback, having FC'd Kickback, which, by the way, insane FC on Kickback in the match previous. Kind of just if you could walk us through kind of the song selection thought process for this final.
Total Destroy was entirely, I remember Jeff saying it tires him out, so I was hoping I could just like scrape by and maybe you'd make a mistake somewhere down the line, but unfortunately not.
Fortunately, not today. It has been a remarkable set of matches. Between all of your matches have been awesome to watch. Jeff, what do you have? Or it's not Jeff. Brad, what do you have?
Wow, incredible. So you kind of took the one question I had about Total Destroy. Sanic,
Mm.
I guess the only thing that I really have to start here. Amazing job, as already said in the past 2 matches to get to this point. You were playing out of your mind, super incredible. So congratulations on that to get into this finals here. For the picks that you were going into, did you feel maybe toward the end of it that you were going more off vibes, or was there still strategy? Even with you already saying that you were expecting a similar result, was there still strategy involved up till the end, or were you going off vibes there?
They were still very much the songs that I felt like I had the biggest chance on. Like, I knew if I picked anything remotely solo-y or anything that was too much more of a stamina drain like Fallen Symphony, I just knew there was no chance.
Yep, that's completely fair, and that's actually really respectable. Going in knowing that you're going against a player like Jeff, still trying to find ways to get yourself into the match and potentially win, that is definitely commendable. Now, Jeff, I swing it over to you as the champion of Elite League. Now, I got to ask a question that some people might find a little controversial, but I got to know. From most people's perspective, you were the one who was going to win this. From your own perspective, did you feel like there was any other result other than you being the champion?
Oh, of course. I was definitely I guess not afraid, but I was looking forward to the remix matchup always. I feel like he had a definite good shout. Like prior to now, of course, it's just what I've known and what I've just assumed. He's got a good shout against me no matter what on any given day. Sanic, I want to say you were the better player amidst all of that in terms of just referencing players. today you were the better player amongst who I could have gone against, no matter what. And that's who I should have looked forward to the most in the end.
Now, Jeff, last question I really have for you: of everybody on the field, not just people that you feel that you would have the best chance against, but was there somebody that you didn't get to play that you would have loved to have played?
Jarvis. It'll always be Jarvis, just for the personal matchup.
That is
Absolutely
completely fair.
understandable. Yeah,
All right, that's
totally
really all I've
understandable.
got. Incredible
Yeah.
job to both of you. Commiseration,
Thank you.
Sanic, but still an incredible performance. And Jeff, congratulations on being the 2025 Elite League champion.
Thank you really so
Yep.
much.
After a lot of tournaments beforehand, you finally get your Elite League championship. A long time coming. So huge
Yeah.
congrats on that. You will be going home with 300 pounds UK, so you'll have to find somewhere to get that converted. And then Sanic will not have to worry about that for your 150 pounds that you qualified for. So congratulations on second place in the Elite League playoffs. Goes without saying, you two obviously have locked in your slots for the next Elite League should you choose to participate. But with all that being said, I'll first turn it to Sanic. Sanic, any final words on this season?
Yeah, I'm more than happy to come back next time, and I've found as this one has gone on, I've very much warmed up to the set list. When this initially dropped, I was scared and I didn't like half the songs, and I thought this is going to be a round one loss. But the more I played, the more I've really enjoyed it.
No, absolutely. And both of you, like we mentioned, showing just how much you can grow with a set list over time, even after matches have been played and you see ebbs and flows of how well or poorly you feel on a song throughout the process. But the important thing is to continue the process. And you have both shown that that is what ultimately leads to the best results when it comes to playing your best at the finals when the pressure is at its highest. So for your work throughout this set list, and it goes without saying, but it is worth saying that the work that you put in was truly remarkable and very easily identifiable with how you performed today. So you should be very proud of that. And then I will turn to our newest champion of Elite League, Jeff. You now have the floor for any final words, shout outs, anything you'd like to give. Atop your perch on your throne with the crown on your head.
Thank you. Yeah, of course. I want to give a couple shout outs. Everyone in my geek Discord, those are my buds, my best friends. Randall, Bacon, Cena. Get it done, Cord. You guys are always hanging out, playing Clone Hero, always being uplifting, always providing content, being fun to be around. Yeah, I don't really know much else to say other than this tournament was amazing. I think this is the most fundamentally sound playlist, I guess, set list we've ever had in terms of competition wise and I guess song structure. So I had a lot of fun in that, and I think they allude to in chat like random, but I think you had to really work through this set list to really kind of persevere through what you think that you couldn't do in the first place. It takes a lot of work to keep up, and this is meant to be the pinnacle difficulty for I guess CSC sponsored tournaments. So that's by design, and
Absolutely.
yeah, that's all I'd like to say.
Absolutely. Well, huge congratulations. And yeah, again, when it comes to this tournament format, there are daily tournaments, there are single ELIM tournaments. We've seen Swiss tournaments, we've seen tournaments of all types. This format in particular is for those who are in it for the long haul, who can take the most advantage of their preparation, and who can find a way to make themselves perform at the highest level when you only have one chance to do so. And you two proved that this tournament came down to whoever did that the best. So major props to both of you and to the other two players in our top four as well, who also proved the exact same thing overall this entire tournament. So with all that being said, thank you both so much for joining us. Cannot wait to see what you both have coming up for you next. So thank you both for making this Elite League what it has been and what it ended up as. Could not have done it without your two, with you two putting in the work that you did. So thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And with that being said, Brad, we have finally reached the end of the CSC tournament season. It has been a long year. We had an invitational, the largest total participation in tournaments we've ever seen. When you combine the amount of open participants and the players who received automatic bids into the Elite League, again, total of 162 participants from, I believe, over 15 different countries around the world, at least. Yeah, the largest participation we have ever seen in a CSC tournament cycle. And I mean, some unforgettable moments throughout the whole way. It has been one hell of a season. Yeah, Brad, thoughts?
I just got to say thank you to everybody who tuned in to the matches, who participated to make this thing what it is. We are so proud to be representing the competitive scene in Clone Hero, on at least on our part, and to bring forth the scene, to not just showcase what you saw today, so the top level play, but also to get people into the competitive scene, to understand that this community is a great place to foster friendly, competitive spirit, and to see people just get better at the game and to enjoy it. So thank you all for making this a possibility. I also personally want to thank Demand. You are a big reason why this season ended up being as strong as it was. The organization, you coming in and stepping up and being like, I'm going to run this. I'm going to run it strong. Of course, we had a ton of teamwork. We certainly cannot forget everybody who's involved, but you in particular, Demand, thank you so much for just being the head TO that we've really needed to take this to that next level that we're looking to go.
Well, I do greatly appreciate that, but it certainly cannot have been done without a lot of people that I understand that first of all, thank you very much. I do really, really appreciate that. But again, the amount of help that we had behind the scenes was unbelievable. I will not be able to remember everybody here, but everybody who has reffed a match, specifically, I want to shout out Luna, Birdie, Mason, JD Smitty, and Haquin as big-time contributors in the Elite League specifically, as well as Chrome and Jeff, our champion, stepping up and reffing as well while being in tournament. Massive thanks to that. To our entire song selection committee, those non-staff members being Orange Hat, Lilith Uwu, we had Jeremy, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting, Natos, thank you myself, and then the staff members in there as well. Very, very helpful. Who else?
Random. Cannot forget Random.
Well, Random was on the staff. I was going to get to the staff. But also major shout outs to Mason for making the ref sheet massively helpful throughout the entire process. Mason and Wes, massive shout out to both of them for stepping up large to make these on the fly broadcasts that we did this season. Let us know if you liked this, by the way, where we got to stream every single playoff match this time around. The times were a bit sporadic, not as structured as things beforehand, but we wanted to make sure to get as much of this content out as possible because there was electric stuff throughout the entire tournament. So major shout outs to them for their broadcast efforts. And then, yeah, everybody who's helped with anything entire tournament season. And then obviously all the staff that worked with myself on making this what it is. I mean, Brad, Jeff, Chrome, Atomic, Random, Misk, of course, being our lead head and kind of overseeing everything. Huge shout out to Misk as well for giving us the green light on everything that went down this season. And then you talk about 3UP as well, huge contributor. Even Paturages, who is not always like in the weeds with everything, but has been around and helping with stuff throughout as well. Shout out to Triss, also another person who stepped up a lot of times during this tournament season, was a massive help for us. Am I forgetting anyone, Brad? I know but I tried to get everyone off the top of my head. Who?
The casters. We had
the casters as well.
Nice string of casters that definitely stepped up and delivered, and we really do appreciate it.
All of the casters, especially the ones who stood up for Elite League. I also, for staff, wanted to also shout out Andrew behind the scenes. I feel bad I didn't mention you, Andrew, but a massive reason why all the servers worked as well as they did. After our first stream, the servers were locked down all season, every tournament. So massive shout out to Andrew for that. But yes, again, all of the as you mentioned, all of the casters who did a phenomenal job, all the refs who I didn't mention, you all deserve huge props. We could not have done it without you guys. I truly mean that. I can't thank you all enough.
If you look at just the amount of people involved, you just heard so many different names. There's so many people. It's a passion project. So many people are volunteering their time. Nobody gets paid to do this. We just love to do it, and we're just so thankful to be in that opportunity to bring this forth to the community. So thank you.
I mean, can you guys believe I'm doing this for free? This is ridiculous. Massive shout also Miscellany with the subscription, so shout out for that as well, and for all of our new followers as well. But yeah, with all that being said, that does put a bow on our 2025 tournament season. The return of Elite League is complete. We are back, and it is better than ever. Thank you all so much for making it a possibility and a reality. I've been Demand2413. For all of us on the CSC tournament staff, thank you for joining us. We hope to see you next time.